Go ahead and get into it. Yeah, he's calling me right now. Yo,
Hey,
what's good, man?
what's good?
How you doing,
What's
bro?
good? Uh,
Enjoying
could be
Elite
better.
Smash?
No. I lost to a K rule, and then that I felt like I understood the patterns of. I don't know. It was my first match on Wi-Fi, so I don't know. I try to tell myself, until I play 3 hours of Wi-Fi, I can't beat myself down too hard over losing.
I feel
But
that, yeah.
yeah, and then I definitely have a Toon Link problem. I don't know, like I've natted on Matt. I don't know. I know GSP doesn't mean shit, but just for gauge of how good this Toon Link was or whatever. Where I am now, 7.66 mil. I've ran into like probably 3 Toon Links in the last like month, and all of them just dumpster me. I can't even get in. I feel like I'm being outzoned. I don't know what to do. I'm just like Boomerang doesn't do shit, and they're just all in my shit. So I don't know if that's like a matchup. I can't make out if it's like a me playing bad, them playing good, or like a matchup advantage thing. I can't even tell. I feel like I'm overwhelmed and super underperforming on that regard.
So I watched you play against a couple games against the K Rule, and well, both of the K Rules, and then I watched that last Toon Link game as well. And I do think, in terms of the K Rule, I think you have to learn how to fight against heavies. Fighting against heavies as Young Link is pretty weird because, in theory, on paper, like you shit on heavies, like you destroy them because you could just combo them forever. They will have a really hard time getting in, right? But in practice, if you're being too impatient or you're not just playing super on point, then you could just get absolutely like bodied by heavies. And then K. Rool is like that same idea, but taken even further because of all his super armor and all his attacks and stuff like that. You literally can't overextend. And I think your biggest problem against the K. Rules was that you were overextending a little too much. And in terms against Toon Link, it's actually a tougher matchup than people might think because, Young Link and Toon Link are very similar characters, but Young Link's better, in my opinion at least. I think that's pretty general consensus, but when you're fighting another super heavy projectile character as Young Link, it becomes like a weird thing of you have to decide how you want to play it, because you could either just play the projectile war where you guys are just both throwing shit at each other 24/7, which is probably the best path. But if you're going to do that, you got to have an understanding of what projectiles to use in what situations, because Toon Link's arrows are really, really good at stuffing out your arrows and your boomerangs. So if you're trying to use boomerangs against his arrows, then you might get caught off guard before you can even get your boomerang out. It's sort of similar to the Young Link Ditto, where you kind of want to focus mainly on using arrows a lot and finding his patterns of how he throws projectiles and using that against him to get in and trying to make it count once you do get in. That's kind of like the main thing against Toon Link. But yeah, I think a lot of your issues are more matchup based. Just because, there's so many different characters in this game with so many unique attributes and so many different ways you got to play against everybody. And I don't want you to get too discouraged because, matchups are just something that you're not going to ever inherently know how to play until you learn. So that's something that's kind of hard about this game. But yeah, those are kind of just the things I observed from those couple games I watched.
Yeah, okay. I still struggle really heavy on the mental. When you lose, like, you're able to make it so constructive. I feel like I'm like in ego crisis mode, and I barely even want to have my face cam on whenever I'll be losing these matches.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like I feel like it's my ego, and I've been working on trying to get that under control, ego and tilt. But I'm off like, well, how much of this is really just Smash Wi-Fi? Because I feel like that doesn't happen when I play offline.
So here's how I do that. So here's the thing, right? Listen, man, I've been playing competitive Smash since I was like 14 years old, and anyone that's known me for a long time will tell you that probably until maybe 6 months ago, at the absolute earliest, I had like a huge raging problem, a huge ego problem, and it's very, very, very natural, and it's very normal, and a majority of players do have it, and it holds a lot of people back. And the number one like mental breakthrough I made was I get the idea of blaming Smash Wi-Fi. I get that it sucks. I get that it's not great. The netcode sucks. It should be better. We deserve better. It's all very true. But the thing is like, it's either we have to accept Smash Wi-Fi for what it is, and if we want to still continue to get better as players, then just deal with it, accept it for what it is, and move on and take what we can take from it. Because even though Wi-Fi, I mean, it's not absolutely perfect and it's not always going to be a true indicator of who's a better player, you can still learn a lot in terms of matchups, learning what certain characters do. Like, you can test a lot of different things in your play style, seeing how people react to it. Because, I mean, the truth of the matter is, for the majority of people, you just are not going to be able to play against enough different people, or just enough in general offline to justify not playing online at all. You know what I mean? And there's only so much you can learn from training mode. There's only so much you can learn from playing against the same person 24/7. I really do believe that Wi-Fi is a necessary evil, and it's something that pretty much all the top players that I've known that came up in Smash and became top players that were absolutely like nobodies before did it from playing Wi-Fi. So it's I think once you can accept that, move forward, that's gonna help a lot in terms of, like, I don't know, like, once you wipe that excuse off the table, it's kind of part of letting your ego go. You know what I mean? And then going from there in terms of ego stuff, it's just like accepting. The more you understand the game, I guess, the more you can see how you got outplayed. And once you realize where and why you're getting outplayed, it's a lot easier to be more constructive about it and learn from it rather than becoming frustrated about it. And I think that's just something that comes with learning the game more. And I think the more you understand the game, the less you're going to feel overwhelmed by that, like, kind of feeling of, like, saltiness or shame and things like that. And just realize that you have a long way to go, but this is part of the process of getting to where you want to be. I guess that's the best advice I can give right there for now.
Yeah, no, it's all incredibly valid. Yeah, everything you said was totally valid. I agree with all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, when I play online, it feels like when I lose, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to make sense of it. Like the first K. Rool I played, very predictable, just going for super armor shit whenever he's getting, I'm overextending, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does it, and then I get blasted. And I felt like I recognized the play pattern, and I should have won, but I didn't. So it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lost. I don't know, I guess that's kind of what it feels like.
So from hearing that, what I would guess, because I get that same feeling a lot of the time as well. I think usually when you lose and you know you should have won and you can't really understand why you lost, at that point it comes down to probably subconscious habits that are costing you. Things that you don't notice that you're doing every game, little mistakes that are costing you that your opponents catch on to, but you may not be able to catch on to as easily yourself because it's something you do all the time. So I think that's kind of where VOD review comes in, looking at your matches and, like, going in with, like, an honest, look at, like, okay, what are the trends? What are the correlations here between all of my games that are causing me to lose, or, like, causing me to, like, overextend, or causing me to, like, lose composure? What are those, like, triggers in my mind that are, like, bringing up those kind of situations? Because you can mentally know what you're supposed to do, and you can even execute on some things correctly, but if your subconscious is, like, fucking you over all the time, then it's really hard to see that in action. That's something that really comes from, like, introspection and looking at things, outside, like when you remove yourself from that situation and look at it from outside.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah,
that's why I wanted you to look at the fatality game I sent you and tell me things that you thought that you did wrong, because I wanted you to start getting into that mind state of, like, looking at your own matches with a critical eye. And also that's why I wanted you to put positive things too, though, because once you notice the positive things you do, then you, like, become more confident in doing those things. Those kind of become, like, your go-tos. And then when you have the more negative things, it's like, some days it's going to be hard, and some days you're going to revert back into bad habits. It happened to me yesterday during the tournament I was in. Like, I was game 3 against this pit player, and if I won, then I would have been in, like, a top 8 qualifier, and I wanted to win really bad, had, like, a bunch of viewers and everything, and I reverted back into my old bad habits, and it was incredibly frustrating. But there's also good days, like, the Gommel run, where I was able to know my bad habits and preemptively avoid them. And the goal in the end of the day is everyone's always going to have bad days, but it's to manifest more of those good days by, you know, going in with like a deliberate focus on trying to be better every day, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that was, oh man. Everything you said was true. And it's just hard to apply all that
Oh, 100%.
anywhere near quickly.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And that's the thing about Smash is like, it's a grind, man. It's an absolute grind. But the reason why it's a grind that's like worth doing, in my opinion, is because when you do have those breakthrough moments, when you do realize like something, you have a moment where you realize that you got better at something, or you see personal progress, and it's probably the most rewarding thing I've ever experienced in my life is like, you know, growing as a player, especially in the harder the mental block, the harder, the worse the habit, the better it feels when you break it, you know, when you break through. So that's kind of the feeling I want you to have in mind. And when you're first starting to like really try to get better, it's really hard because you don't know, there's no scope, no scale in your mind of like, when will I be where I want to be? You know, that's the hardest part, but it's kind of just something that you go day by day. Can't focus too much on the future and just trust the process, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Well, you're not wrong. I can, in isolation of my own emotions, totally admit VOD review is like the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, when you threw me the homework, I was hoping it wasn't that. Because I was terrified to do this. I'm like, oh my god, how many embarrassing, stupid things do I do that I don't even? I don't know. So I feel like I'm kind of a hypocrite in that regard. Because I'm like, I want to get better, but then I'm like, literally scared to even do this. I'm like, how this will just beat my ego into like an absolute zero. I don't know if I can even handle looking at my own trash that I know I did fuck awful on.
Dude, I understand that 100%, man. Now imagine that same feeling and that same like ego fighting you, but instead of it just being like, you know, something that you do like for fun and something that you like to like take competitively and get your outlet on, instead of that, imagine it's like your job and your future and your livelihood and your reputation and everything, dude. Trust me, man, I've been through that feeling 100 times in my life before, and it wasn't until I finally started letting go of that, even just a little bit, that I was like so much. Basically, I guess the main thing I can really say is, in order to let go of those bad habits, in order to like let go of your choking problem, in order to like kind of free yourself of that, you kind of have to let go of your attachment to winning and your attachment to your idea in your mind of you being a certain level of good, because at the end of the day, it's like, it just doesn't matter. And if you're good, when you get whatever quote unquote good, you'll be able to express it in your play in a way that like doesn't require ego. It's something that everybody can just see, you know. It's you won't need that shield anymore, that like armor that kind of, you know, tries to keep out the negativity, because I mean, that's at the end of the day what ego is. It's a shield. But once it starts like wearing away, that's when you can actually like start expressing yourself in the game and start, you know, allowing yourself to not be so like this big like pent up ball of energy that's always so stressed out when playing and like forcing you to make all these mistakes and stuff like that.
That was actually really, really good.
Thank you. This is stuff I think about a lot.
Because speed running, I find it easy to do this, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like speed run, like, yeah, I mean, I gotta grind and get good to like it doesn't happen in a vacuum. You gotta get good. But then in Smash, I'm like, I'm so fucking entitled. And you're not wrong. I'm very fixated on this stupid idea that I gotta be Trihex good.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be Trihex speedrun good at Smash, and I'm not. And that difference makes me that the gap of those two, the perception and the reality, is literally the ego shield that's just like there, and it just completely fucks my mental, and it saturates me with like this fixation on winning rather than playing. You're not wrong. I mean, in fact, I came and let go of this first K rule I lost to. I'm like, ugh.
Do you think is that something that's exclusive to your experience in Smash, or is that something you experience in other things you do as well?
Oof. Man, now we're playing psychiatrist.
Yo, call me Dr. K, baby.
Chat's gonna tell you that's everything. Honestly, this is like streamer anxiety, or I'm sorry, performance anxiety. But man, I need to. So disclaimer here, I need to probably go to a counselor, therapist, psychologist, whatever. I need to like go to all the I need to go
All
to
the
all
above.
things actually. So yeah, it's a shit show. To put it mildly, yeah, this is definitely a problem in all games. I like to think it's a problem because I am streaming games I'm not familiar with. Like I'm terrified of the reality that I think I should be better at other games and I'm not, which I don't even know where that even comes from. And the exposing that I'm not good at other games, I guess, terrifies me. Maybe because like my stream grew off of speedrunning, so I'm like used to the validation.
I think that's exactly it. Probably. I think that your entire brand identity, who you like built yourself up to be, was this guy who's like above average good at a game. Like someone that has put in a lot of work and became very, very good at this game, to the point where when people see you play Yoshi's Island for the first ever time back in the day or whatever, they're probably absolutely mind blown. And I'm sure you had people tell you a billion times that like, I don't understand how this is even possible. I mean, I remember I used to watch his stream and like even just the APM or whatever the hell, you know what I mean? Like it's like, whoa, holy shit, how does this guy do this with the fucking Super Nintendo controller? I've never seen nothing like this. And I think because of that, it kind of like, you may have something. I've had the same experience before where it's why when I go to a tournament and let's say I get upset in pools by somebody that no one's ever heard of before, and I would just go to my hotel room and fucking hide from everybody because I was so ashamed that people might not see me the same way as like this prodigy kid who's gonna be the savior of the Ohio Smash scene or whatever the fuck, you know, whatever everybody said about me before. You know, if I didn't perform the way they expected me to, then now this idea that they had of me in their head might be gone. And the truth of the matter is, dude, is like, once you stop, I know it's so much easier said than done, and I don't expect you to just believe this right away. I mean, 100 for me, it's like, it's not even like I'm 100% there. I'm just on the journey, you know. I'm just trying to be on that path of trying to let go of my ego, because I really do believe it holds us back a lot. But once you start like, that first time you really do something and you do it for yourself and not for other people's perception of you, it is probably the most freeing feeling that I've ever experienced in my entire life. Like the first time I ever went to a tournament and I didn't play for anyone else but me, and I genuinely felt that way. It was one of the first times I ever sat down at a set before a match and like wasn't shaking. You know, it was one of the first times I woke up and I wasn't in my hotel room about to puke before I had to go play my matches. Like, it was one of the best feelings of my life. So but it's a process, and there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. There's a lot of things that lead to those, which is something that, you know, you should pay attention to. But, you know, Smash is just a small part of it, but I'm very thankful to Smash because the game literally is designed to crush your ego. It's a game that is incredibly, there's a huge skill gap, a gigantic skill gap, a gigantic experience gap. It literally has 90 characters in the game, so the more you play it, the more you are rewarded, and the less you play it, the more punishing it is. The like whole entire concept of the game is you versus somebody else in a one-on-one competition where there's a victory screen at the end that says this person is better than you. Like, it's not like speedrunning in that same way that it's you versus yourself and it's a measurement of how good you're doing against yourself. It's literally you versus another person. Are you better than these people? And when those people are, you know, people that you don't even know, people that aren't known names or respected and things like that, then it's obviously going to be damaging to the ego when you lose to them, because you just feel like this is hurting your image. And that's one thing I like about Smash is, like, for people like you and me who struggle with a bit of ego problems, it'll put you through the fucking ringer. Like, it's not gonna, it doesn't hold back, you know. Like, if you want to get good at this game, then you're gonna have to take a lot of ass beatings, and you're gonna have to realize that before you can get good, you have to realize that you aren't shit. And that's I think one thing I really love about Smash is that's been something that's been really helpful for me just in my life in general. So I think that could be one reason why maybe you do want to continue pursuing to try to get better at the game, because personally for me, I can say it's helped me a lot with my own mental health in terms of trying to become, you know, somebody that isn't so controlled by their ego. So yeah, that's my speech.
No, that's well, it was really good. I'm just trying to think of like where I even follow up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. Like, okay, so if the question here is like, what are my goals with Smash? It's like, get good is, yeah, a goal, but I would say the real goal is just like to actually be able to enjoy Smash.
Okay.
That's probably the main goal, which would involve, which indirectly involves getting the ego frustration tilting under control and not deriving my self-worth from how I perform. And you're right, playing for myself, not for the performance and amusement of others.
Which is really hard when you're a streamer, by the way. Like, extremely hard.
Oh man,
extremely hard, man. And especially, I can only imagine someone at my size. I mean, it's something I struggle with a lot. Is like, you know, when I lose in tournament, the first thing I think a lot of times is like, damn, I wish I would have got that win from my chat, because they would have been so hype and like so happy to see that and everything. So I get that for sure. But I guess the nice thing for you, this is something that's a little harder for like professional gamers, especially, is they really tie in their self-worth with their performance, because that's how they've gotten everything that they have. But for you, you're somebody that's you've been around so long, done variety for so long, been successful on Twitch for so long, that you have these people that'll literally click and watch you do almost anything. Like, they'll watch you play, you know, Paper Mario Origami King. I mean, who the fuck wants to watch that? But they'll still watch it. So, no, I'm kidding. But, yeah, man. So, you have that, which is really, I think, is going to be, the more you understand that, the more you realize that, you know, these people are here for you more than they are to watch any specific, like, high level, high octane gameplay. I mean, shit, I watched you practice fucking Yoshi's Island levels without doing a speedrun for like 6 months. I didn't watch that because I wanted to watch you throw the same egg at the same red coin for 20 hours. I didn't care about that. I just watched because I enjoyed the stream. I just liked the vibes. I thought you were a cool dude. I think that's probably the majority of your chat would tell you the same thing.
Oh man, that's actually flattering you remember that. That was
oh, 100%, man.
That was, dude, that was like December 2013. That was the I was pretty much at bottomed out. I didn't know what to do other than just like strip the ego and remove all assumptions and just like at its absolute core learn from level 1 all the way up to, you know, level 54 and just like, you know, only do a run. Which, by the way, I got a lot of shit for that. I remember people were mad that I was doing segmented runs, you know, first half runs, second half runs, because you get too good at the first half if you keep doing runs from the very beginning over and over again. Dude, people were so, why are you doing second half runs? That doesn't make any sense. It's not a real speed run. Then again, this was like 2013.
It was a different culture,
so like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was extra Papega. Yeah, it was like extra.
I mean, these were the days of like, you know, Siglemic, like whatever, every day in a month, 12 hours of runs. People just wanted to see the runs. That's why I thought it was crazy that you were so like invested in getting good at Yoshi's Island rather than like just, you know, doing runs over and over again. I'd never seen anything quite like that. I think that's probably what brought me into your stream in the first place.
I couldn't take it anymore, dude. Runs were crashing and burning. Like I couldn't like. Honestly, I would say that however bad you were at tilt, I was probably 10x worse in speedrunning before I got to that. Before I got into working out. Working out really helped me on the mental for being able to speedrun. Because I felt so entitled to like the run, the success, and I'm like whenever it wouldn't match, I'm just like, I'm trash. Hate this game. Hate myself.
Yeah.
Hate emotions. I want to be a robot. Why can't I just be the robot that just like gets it and remove all this filler bullshit of, you know, my right half of my brain. And I go back to that thought. Whenever I'm in that dark spot, I go back to that thought a lot. I'm just like, why can't I just remove these goddamn emotions and be the perfect robot that I want to be and just like get the run and or be the young Link that just like I don't know, everything. Dude,
it's so hard because nobody teaches people like us to like how to deal with that, you know, until you get into that super competitive, because people like you and me, I feel like we're like competition junkies who like it's so easy to fall into that trap because nobody tells you to watch out for that, you know? Like, you don't know until you're in that moment that you aren't entitled to that success. Like, you don't know how to deal with those feelings of like, if I did this one thing, if I got this one placement, if I got the run, then like my life would be like this and this and this, and it would be so great and blah blah blah. Like, nobody tells you that that's going to be the exact reason why you're not going to be able to get that placement or that run. And there are those dudes out there that are just like robots and they just got that figured out, or they just don't care, or like whatever the hell it is. But I know personally I'm not one of those people, so it's going to take a lot of work mentally and emotionally for me to get there. But, you know, I think if there's anything we can take away is from the unfortunate reality of us kind of having an ego problem and things like that, is there's a lot of people out in the chat right now that I'm sure that can relate, and they're probably enjoying this conversation a lot because it's going to help them kind of process their own ego issues, or like realize maybe they have some kind of flaw in the way that they think, and that might be what's holding them back too. That's kind of how I try to look at things so that I don't get so much into the, you know, like why me, like way of thinking. But yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I definitely, I do want to preface here that obviously my community, all love, thank y'all so much. Colonies chat, y'all are awesome. Colonies, you're awesome.
Thank you, man.
Everyone here, I really don't mean to come off as a spoiled Angelica from Rugrats, entitled, I don't know, whatever, like drama queen bitch. It's like the one thing. If like, I know it's like a big thing, but if this one thing was under control, like it'd be amazing. I feel like it's so far away, which it probably is. Not even to get good, the freaking just the enjoying Smash and having pride in losing and focusing on growth and all the really shit that I'm supposed to be excited for right now that I'm terrified of. Like if I had all that, oh, that'd be amazing. That would be. I can't even. It's like being colorblind and then seeing color for the first time. Like I can't even perceive this like foreign color. I don't even know. Like you tell me, you describe it to me over text, I'm just like, I don't know that I don't understand. So yeah, that would be super rad.
Well, let me tell you this one thing. Is I remember when I was younger, I was the first time you ever met me, I don't know if you remember or not, but it was at a Smash Con, and it was when I first started dieting. You know, I was overweight pretty much my entire life growing up. And
wait, what?
Yeah, do you remember this? We met at Chick-fil-A at Smash Con, and I was with Cosmos.
Wait. Let me mute my mic real quick.
No, you're fine.
Chat. I don't remember this. I don't remember meeting Colonies. Oh my god, dude. Okay, wait. Here's another set of though. Hang on a second. Okay, all right, I'm back. All right, continue.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you remember that time we met, man, and you like helped me stay on my diet, and like, you know, you like really just inspired me, man. And I told you I was a huge fan. You said you would never forget, you know.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right, real talk. The word. Wait. So, I feel like I would remember this. Okay, it's not that I don't care.
No,
but a swag ass young Link main, I would definitely follow that under long-term memory.
Well, back in these days, I was far from a swag ass young Link main. I was Cosmos ZR's driver, his Uber everywhere. Smash 4 Fox main, you know, a solid 75 to 80 pounds overweight. You know, and I had just started dieting. This was SmashCon 2017. The way I met you was you were at Chick-fil-A, that Chick-fil-A across from the venue. Remember, it was hot as shit that weekend too. Yeah, so I went to that Chick-fil-A. You and Cosmos were eating, talking or whatever, and I just came up to Cosmos. I was like, yo, what time you trying to like do this, blah blah blah. And then he's like, oh, I don't know. And then I just like sat down and ate with you guys, and then you and me ended up just like hanging out like that whole fucking day, watching like Melee or some shit. And
okay.
I was gonna cheat on my diet. I remember this. I was like, yeah, dude, I think I'm gonna go and get some popcorn or some shit like that or whatever. And you were like, all right, well, tell me this honestly. Do you really think that in 6 months that you're gonna remember that popcorn you had? Do you think that that's gonna like make a difference for you, or like do you think instead that staying strict to your diet and, you know, like actually losing the weight, like maybe in the future that would have like a better impact on you or something? And I was like, shit, man, you know what? All right, man, I'm not gonna cheat on my diet.
Wait, I said all this?
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm the shit. Oh, dude, this is all... Dude, I always cringe whenever it's like, oh my god, what did I say 3 years ago, dude? I hope it wasn't anything stupid.
No, dude, it was very,
Okay.
very helpful, man. And the good news is I stayed to my diet and I ended up losing like 80 pounds. So yeah.
Dude, I would have never thought you were overweight. Like when I look at your webcam, I'm like, oh no, Colonies. Yeah, he's.
I get that all the time, which is crazy to me.
I did not know. That's 80 pounds. You said?
Yeah.
You lost 80 pounds.
Yeah, I did keto and intermittent fasting for like a solid
Dude.
8 months to a year.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm actually like, look, I'm not sucking your ass. That's genuinely popular. I would have never thought. I thought you were genetically lanky. I was like, man, you probably got that hypermetabolism that just like you can probably eat like three I don't know, Big Macs and not even sweat it.
Well, these days I can actually, I'm blown away. Like I'll have a weekend where I'm like, yo, dude, I'm scared to step on the scale, and I'll step on the scale and I didn't gain any weight at all. And from what I know, there's some debated science on this, but when you do keto, a lot of times it trains your fat cells to become more efficient because they're not as overworked by having to process carbs all the time. Instead, they're like become more like fine-tuned to process what you eat better. So that could be a part of it. I don't know 100% no, but yeah, I lost all that weight. But the whole reason I was telling you this is because when I was younger and I was overweight, I always thought to myself, if I could just lose the weight, if I could be skinny, if I looked better, this would solve all my problems, that everything would be perfect. I couldn't even imagine how my life would be. I thought it would just be, I thought it'd just be bliss, right? And when I lost all the weight, it was nice, but, all the compliments and stuff, they start wearing off, they don't really hit me the same way. Not that I didn't appreciate when people would say it, but it just, it wasn't that fulfilling feeling that it once was. And it started getting to a point where I got really depressed about it because I was like, damn, dude, I did this thing that was so hard to do that I thought would fix everything for me, but this wasn't what is actually going to make me happy. And when I realized that I knew nothing, which was really like, shell shocking. But that kind of realization is what really let me start going down the path of learning what it is that actually does make me feel more fulfilled, which is things like, doing things for myself and seeing personal progress and not comparing myself to others as much as I compare myself to who I was yesterday. That's a big one for me. That's one that helps me a lot.
Ooh, yeah. Toxic comparisons, man. I'm really good at that.
Dude, imagine living in a house where you're the smallest streamer, where everyone else has been around for years. They have big followings and everything like that. The conversation that goes on between streamers. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I got this many subs today. Oh yeah, my average view count is this. Oh, I got hit up by this company. Blah blah blah. I'm just sitting there all day, every day, just like, I got 30 viewers today. But going in through that environment and everything, yeah.
I can tag me in at a later point here because I can walk you. That's something I know a lot about. You're hitting me with all this shit about salt and tilt 101 that I just feel like I'm so Papega on and applying. And I can walk you through that. There are, the thing is, it's kind of like I would compare what you're going through in that regard of like streaming and the comparisons, especially to other people that are your housemates, to like, it's like playing Crash Bandicoot, but like it's a linear hallway and like 4 out of the 5 paths are all just like pits of death. Like, and they all look alluring as fuck, dude. They're all there's a bunch of one-ups and everything, dude. You're just like, oh my god, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%. All right, I'll definitely tag you back in because if I can help you with the tilt and stuff, I would definitely love some help in terms of environment, like dealing with this environment of Twitch, especially now that I've been growing a lot recently too. There's just so many pitfalls everywhere that I'm scared of falling down.
Because it's the same shit you were telling me. The whole thing here is like, if you're chasing numbers, that's the trap.
Yep.
That sounds corny and lame as shit, but chasing the numbers, that ultimately puts you in the pit of being known for one thing and being the one trick streamer. You're all in on Minecraft back in 2013, and you just live, eat, and breathe Minecraft. And then when Minecraft for any reason falls apart or dates, or decays on viewer retention, now you're like super fucked because your identity was never like defined. Your identity
You're
was
chasing
Minecraft
trends.
ultimately.
Yep.
Exactly. When you stream for yourself, and the side effect of your streaming well is the view count. See the difference there? Like the side effect of streaming well is better metrics. Not streaming well is intrinsic to better metrics.
Yeah.
Big difference there. So that there's a lot here, but yeah, there's a lot to just streaming well altogether that I can disclose to you. But there's also like a lot more to it, particularly because of streaming Smash. Smash is a really really top heavy, really brutal directory that even I'm like, okay, well,
You think so?
I used to think my view count was crap for Smash. Then I saw what pro smashers get if you're not Leffen, HBox, Mango.
Yeah.
Fuck, I mean, who else?
Oh yeah, the rch stay rich in the Smash category.
Yeah, if you're not,
that's for sure.
if you're not in like the top 0.0001%, man. I mean, I see top 50 people who are like under 50 viewers. I'm just like, damn, wow.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot going. There's a lot going on there. So
you know what's one thing I like about that though is kind of like fucked up as it sounds is I like the fact that I don't feel like I have to be a top 20 player in the world to become one of the biggest Smash streamers. I think it's kind of crazy that I've been able to get as far as I've gotten, like in the last like 6 months or whatever, when, you know, I've never even been on the top 50 rankings one time. You know, my best major placement in Ultimate was 49th at Genesis, you know, but I think once people come into the stream, I'm able to somehow, you know, keep them around, whether it's just by being myself or trying to give good advice or just like being really open with my chat, stuff like that. I've seen a lot of success from that, and I used to have so much anxiety about streaming because I was always so worried about like, is my plan for today good enough? Is this gonna get enough viewers? Is this gonna do that, do this? And everything changed for me personally when I had 1 month, I think it was March, and I was like, all right, I can't keep doing this. I'm streaming 30 days this month. I'm streaming every single day, and I'm not gonna care about my viewer count. I'm not going to care about nothing like that. I'm going to do what I want. I was playing Mario Sunshine for 15 viewers, you know, and that kind of actually taught me how to love streaming again. And ever since then, it's just been like, it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. The growth, I had like 33 subs at the beginning of March, you know, and like, it's just been a crazy last few months, but I'm just trying to make sure I don't get myself fall back into that same trap, because it's easy to fall back into the trap once like you start feeling good about your stuff, you know. And
you're throwing it there's so many things I can interject here to follow up with, but we should probably structurize this better after Smash. But I will just say here that just like you say in Smash that I need to do VOD review, I need to reflect on what I did and how I did to analyze my performance to then you know, speculate how I'll do in the future. Same thing for you. The easiest way to maintain and not fall back into bad habit is unintuitively to not stream, but even better if you can actually get away from the environment where streaming's an option, like in your, you know, your room with your little desk and all that or whatever. Like, get away from that. Like, go physically like an hour away, or I don't know, go somewhere cool for a day. Bring a laptop, and then really look at the metrics and think, okay, what's my 7-day goal? What am I doing next week for the stream?
Yeah.
What am I doing this month for the stream? What am I doing in the next 6 months? What will be considered a successful year? Like, what will make me definitively happy within a year? Because if you can pinpoint those objective goals, then you subconsciously are not gonna be able to like move them arbitrarily whenever you're like getting momentum. Because you'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm, you know, I got 300 subs now, but man, 400 is even better.
Yeah.
When you were a 13 sub Andy, what were those goals then? Keep them consistent. Don't move them. Don't rob yourself of the satisfaction of meeting that criteria you had in the first place there.
I see.
And then go from there.
So the idea is kind of like, don't always make it a moving goalpost. Like,
yeah, because you'll do that subconsciously for sure. Because like you said, you scale. You lost weight, and then the compliments fizzled out a little bit more over time. Yeah, because the dopamine appreciation and all that, it all scales. You know, if you're a millionaire, is another bin's really going to make you feel better about yourself?
Right.
No, right? It's all trivial at a certain point here. So I tell you to get away from the stream because I personally was struggling really hard here in that regard, because it'd be like, okay, well, I should sit down and review the trends. You know, I can, because the whole thing that a lot of people do here is they'll focus on, okay, what was my view count today? What was my sub count today? What was my, and all this is like your view count, your sub count, and all the other metrics that people overemphasize here. They're all indicative of a trend. You don't get to that view count overnight. You don't get to that sub count overnight. So you got to look at the month by month, not the day by day. I would barely even say the week by week, really. So it's like, sit back, go to your dashboard, go to your video producer, and look at what were you streaming? You know, how, you know, if your identity, what is your identity? What are you known as? You're known as a swag ass, fun to watch young Link main in Smash. But how much Smash were you streaming, for example? Yeah. Was it majority of your content? Not only that, were you what are you doing that's distinctful compared to other Smash content creators? You know, and that's where, and again, that's more of an open-ended question, because that's the whole thing, is like, if you're not distinctive and you're replicable, or you're replicating other people already or who are bigger than you, you're gonna get swallowed, the whole thing. Yeah, you can't out HBox. He already is where he is, right? So
yeah,
it's like,
I already tried to out HBox. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna do a tournament every single day. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. This is working so well for him. I'm just gonna, you know what my plan actually was? I was like, I'm gonna find out what tournament he's entering every day. I'm gonna enter the same tournament, and then when he loses before me, I'm just gonna hope that he gets offline, and then all those viewers go to me. And low key, it did work for a while, but it was
not
just
a bad plan.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible plan, but the thing is I just realized that, like, those weren't people that were coming to watch me. You know, they were people that just wanted to watch the rest of the tournament or whatever. And, you know, maybe some of them would stick around and stuff like that, but it just wasn't it was just so stressful. Like, I wasn't really having fun with the stream. I was just so focused on trying to get those viewers. And then, like, I would just be sitting there at the beginning of my stream like, oh, I only have X amount of viewers. Well, don't worry, because when I get later into this tournament, I'll have more. And then that put on so much, it's like the pressure of the tournament now mixed with the pressure of the stream, and it was just a lot. I'm glad to say I've gotten away from that in a pretty big way recently. Like, I've been doing a lot more just chatting, a lot more just talking to my chat, a lot more just like, we'll watch videos together, you know, we'll watch random stuff, we'll like do stuff like this. I mean, I did, you know, I started a podcast. You know, stuff like that has been giving me a lot of direction and helped me have a lot more fun with the stream recently. But I definitely,
that's good.
Yeah, man, I think. And another thing I learned recently too is, dude, day to day, especially with subs, I mean, in the profession of streaming, it's like you literally live off of whether or not people are willing to give you money. Like, you know, especially when your viewer count, I mean, we know Twitch ads aren't super lucrative, right? Especially unless you're like a gigantic streamer. But, you know, in terms of revenue you're making, it's literally, do these people feel generous enough to give me money today? And you literally cannot control that. So that's something.
Whoa.
What do you?
That's where I disagree, though.
Okay.
You're looking at it as you're to the mercy of anonymous strangers. I would tell you, let's reconfigure the framing here, because instead, I look at it like, have you offered a compelling product that has such strong value that people feel compelled to purchase? Is the question.
You were really good at that back in the day, actually. I remember now.
So, like, if you look at it like, well, what does subbing to Colinies get me? Emotes, blah blah blah. Does it get me coaching lessons? Does it give me priority in the sub lobbies to play against you and get advice? Right. What does it get me? You know, can I DM you? Can I you know, whatever the fuck? I don't know. Again, the rules there are no rules. You know, you look at it and you inject whatever you want into that. You know what I'm saying? So
that's actually really interesting, because I remember back in the day, I think literally the reason I subbed to you when I was just some broke ass 13-year-old kid, I think I literally used a Subway gift card back when that was like first a thing. And I think the reason was because you would do like the family movie night or whatever, and I was like, yo, that's the coolest shit I ever heard. That sounds so sick, so I want to be a part of that. So that I think I got out my Subway gift card my grandma got me for Christmas, and I'm like, all right, well, thanks for the Subway gift card, but I can't even drive, so I don't know how I'm gonna get the Subway, but whatever. So I was like, all right, I'll use this to sub the soda pop in and whatever.
Imagine getting the grandson a Subway gift card when she could have got you the Domino's gift card or something. Like just any brand pizza that would have got used like next day easily, but because the Subway just it collected dust until you found another use for it.
Hey man, it worked out, bro. It worked out.
Oh my god,
that is funny as hell, though. But yeah, that's actually really interesting. I guess I never really have thought of it like too hard. I mean, the number one incentive I guess I have, two big incentives for subbing on my stream, I guess, are like the sub goals. Like I'll have a sub goal, we reach X amount of subs, this thing will happen on the stream. Like tomorrow, for example, I'm doing a 12-hour Pokemon Emerald stream. I've never played a Pokemon game before in my life, so you know, yeah, which is funny. People never believe that, but I'm doing that tomorrow. That was for like hitting 600 subs, and then
hey, did you let them pick? Because
yes, I did actually. I did a poll for my subs.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. You know, yeah.
Okay, I was like, man, cause they will fight to the death over that. Man, Gen 2's the best. Man,
oh my
fuck
god,
Gen 2, Gen 1.
It was a legit
look
war.
Gen 1 boomer, resident sleeper. Man, Gen 3's where it at, man. Fuck them other people. The fire red for life. You know. Yeah, it just goes on.
Dude, there were people literally like accusing other people of cheating in the poll and all this shit. It was intense, dude. I've never seen nothing quite like it, but yeah, we're playing Pokemon Emerald. So that's one thing. Another thing I do is I do sub games once a week where I'll like, the sub games are so hard for Smash because they're so time consuming that it's really hard to get a lot of people in. And like once I open the list, it's like ding 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 ding, like it's instant. It's instant. And then after that instant list is filled up, now it's 3 hours before any other list is even open. You know what I mean? So that's something that's always been hard for me. One thing Hack does, one of my roommates, that I think is really genius, is he has it so that if you're like a tier 2 to him, then you get to like skip the list. So like once you go in, you're a tier 2, you get to skip the list, and if you're a tier 3, you get to like ultra skip the list. Like you have more priority even over the tier 2s. So I think that's kind of cool. I haven't thought about if I really want to do that or not yet. I just got to put some thought into it, but I think you're right, man. Just sitting down and writing out, like, what are my goals for this year? You know, what are my goals for a couple years down the line? You know?
Study and figure out, like, look at what does HBox do? What does Leffen do? What does Mango do? What does Cosmos do? What does I think here, I don't even know. Like, I mean, look at other ones that are kind of your size. Look at what does Dark Wiz do?
Dark Wizzy, them kind of guys. Yep.
What does the Buzz do? Look at what they do, and then honestly, and here's a really good way to look at it. What do they do that you wouldn't do, that you don't like that they do as a streamer, right? That you right, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really your style, for example.
Yep.
And then ask yourself why wouldn't I do that? Because it's a good thing. Because once you find out the things you wouldn't do, you're on the first step towards finding out what's distinctive about you, and then you'll be able to figure out what you would do that they wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And then finally you find the part where you do what they can't do.
Yeah.
And that's whenever you know what I'm saying, you're looking for that.
Dude, I've actually
reverse engineer it.
I started like realizing recently that like I think one thing that is gonna set me apart in terms of like Smash streamers is I'm willing to do a lot of stuff that the other streamers just don't want to do. Like, I'm willing to like sit here in Discord with somebody and have a conversation about life and ego and shit like that. You know, nobody talks about this kind of stuff. Like, it's very rare. And then, you know, whatever, like, do a podcast where instead of talking about, you know, the new DLC character, we talk about how you felt the first time you were ever on the main stage, or, you know, just like little shit like that. I think that's kind of my spin I could bring to Smash streaming that people don't really do. So I think I've already kind of started that trend, but I definitely want to keep just, you know, spend more time introspectively thinking about the stream, because I just feel like the anxiety that I feel about streaming sometimes comes from just not having thought it through enough, of not being prepared enough, which is funny because I could say the exact same thing about you. That's probably where you get a lot of your anxiety about Smash, is not feeling like you're prepared enough against certain types of characters or different situations. I mean, that's literally, Smash is that same idea, but instead in a controlled environment. And now I'm using the Uno reverse card back on you.
Yeah, man. The other thing here, and this is probably one of the biggest tips, high key, low key. I don't know if that's gonna make sense. I just said that.
High key, low key.
A lot of people feel subconsciously entitled to linear growth. Because you grinded 30 days straight, I should be growing. I am streaming X% more. I should be growing X% more. Not true. Wrong.
Yeah.
No, doesn't work that way.
Which is
what'll
brutal,
happen
by the
is-
way. It's a brutal discovery.
It is brutal, but it is luck in that I would define luck as preparedness meets opportunity.
Yep.
So all that's happening here is like, for example, you keep putting in, let's say you become like a, I don't know, like a 500 viewer Andy, and you got like 1,000 subs over the course of the next 6 months, right? Hypothetically, right? And there's a certain cap. You can't do much more relative to Smash based off of the trends that the audience has until you like top 8 at a super major,
Right.
which can't happen until the Rona's gone.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, so you may be capped on the particular strategy you have right now within this community for a bit until the Rona lifts. But because you grinded out and you prepared here, the minute that you do get top 8 at a super major, boom, it's going to catapult you. And then now
now I'm ready.
You have more eyes on you to like give you a chance to show your distinctiveness. And they're like, oh, he's not diet Leffen. He's not, he's not caffeine free hungry box. He's Colonies. Okay. There's no one like him. Holy shit, dude. This is tight.
That's actually really interesting. It's kind of like I should almost look at this more as like my training arc, where like I'm getting as
you're investing in yourself is how I would put it.
See, now I've never even thought about it like that. That's actually really smart, because I guess the way I've always tried to think about it was like, hope I didn't have a cap and just hope that one day things just blow up and like, all right, if we get there, then we get there, sweet. But I guess instead the best way I could look at it is like come in with more realistic expectations. Like, okay, this is probably realistically as big as I can get if I, do X, Y, and Z. And then I'm just going to take this time to make sure that if I ever becomes a bigger thing, then I'm ready for that. And that I know how I'm going to handle that.
Exactly, dude. That's
a really interesting perspective. I never thought about it like that.
And don't feel silly for not knowing that. Like this is all shit I learned in hindsight based off of Mario Maker 1. Like I didn't prepare for that shit at all. Like, I didn't know any of that.
Oh boy.
Like, I thought Yoshi's Woolly World was my magnus opus, and ended up being a Mario Maker, which I didn't even give a shit about 2 months prior.
Yeah.
And that changed everything.
Isn't it funny how it works out like that?
Yeah. So yeah, no. This was good. This was really, really good.
Yeah, for sure, man. But if you do want to go over these notes real quick, then
I do actually. All right.
Because I have these pulled up. You want me to send you the screenshot I have? Or I guess you have them in your Twitter DMs.
Wait, you got screenshots? Oh my god, dude. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, well, I got you.
I'm terrified, but I will.
We're gonna go over these.
What you got?
Because I do want to give you. Oh, what the hell? It just sent you the very end of the link. My bad. Guys,
I'm terrified.
Yeah, because I do want to go over these and give you something. I'm also going to write. I'm gonna take notes in like a Google Doc that I can give to you too, because I find that when I have conversations like this with people, it's like really hard to process everything right after. Like after the conversation's over, I'm like, all right, great, that was great, but how do I like keep track of all this or like process all this information and stuff? So I'll definitely write some stuff down.
What you're saying right now, I look at it. There's a really good. It might be Einstein. There's a really good quote where it's like, if you can't explain it simply, then you don't understand it well enough. So the burden of having to explain something to somebody as if it's the first time hearing it is a good test of like how well you can break down and compartmentalize the complexity of a certain thing.
I like that a lot, actually. That makes a lot of sense. And that's why I also think that a lot of times my viewers are like, they're surprised that I'm so willing to give them like advice on Smash stuff. But for me, it's like I've learned that when I try to help somebody with ideas that I already understand, it actually ends up helping me a lot more in the end than I would have predicted otherwise. So that became like really, I don't know, that's the reason why I like helping people out in terms of Smash, because it helps me out a lot too at the same time.
Absolutely.
All right, so going over this here. So basically what I had was I had Trihex watch a certain game in his first attempt with Fatality. I watched the whole thing, but this game in particular I thought was a really good example, because this was a game where I felt like you did a lot of things right, but you didn't have the level of like competence in the game to like really be able to like close out a game against, a top 25 player in the world, right? So we're gonna break down a couple of those things that are like separating you from being where you could be in a situation to take this kind of game. So throwing projectiles not in safe distance, got up B as a punish. This is a great one. This is something that Young Link mains struggle with a lot. And I guess the number one thing I want to tell you when it comes to this is kind of understanding the core reasons why you use your projectiles and what situations you want to use them in. And because I feel like with Young Link mains, I'm guilty of this as well. We have these projectiles and we kind of see them as like get out of jail free neutral options. Like you get to just kind of do them in neutral whenever you want, and there's really no price to pay for it. One big thing I had to learn was that, like, as much as I love boomerang, it is not nearly as safe of an option as I thought it was originally. And so let's say you're playing at this mid range, right? Let's say your opponent is, you guys are about 2 character lengths in between you guys, okay?
Okay.
In that moment, if you're playing against a player who knows how to fight Young Link, or they've played against you before and they're wary of your patterns, if you try to throw a boomerang in that moment, especially against a character like Falcon, you're just not going to have the time for it to come out that they won't be able to jump over top of your head, and now they're at that advantageous position, because the goal for most characters when they're fighting Young Link is to get over top of him, because he really doesn't have much he can do about someone being over top of his projectiles. And because of the amount of time it takes for boomerang to start up, it becomes like not a safe option anymore. Arrow in this moment is also like just not very great, because you don't have that angle ability. It just is in that straightforward line. So when you're at that mid range of people, instead of like trying to throw out a projectile to win that situation, what I want you to kind of start trying to think about instead is watching your opponent and then reacting to what they do in that moment, and how then you can potentially use a projectile, or you could potentially punish them out of shield for trying to hit you. I want you to kind of try to change your brain from the way you think of, I always have to, in order to win neutral, in order to win this exchange, I have to earn it, or I have to have done something to like hit my opponent, when instead you could just wait for them to do something to lose that exchange. And then that takes a lot of the pressure off of you in that situation. That's why Young Link is so good, is because when he's in that mid-range zone against people, he has so many options. If he sits there and holds shield against you, you can react and grab, if that's something you catch on that he does. If he tries to go over and hit your shield, you can up B out of shield, or you can back air out of shield, or nair. Nair is probably the safest thing you could do in that kind of situation. If he dashes back, then you can throw an arrow out. If he dashes back and jumps, then you can throw an upward angled boomerang. But the key thing is, like, you don't have to be the one that engages that situation first. And in fact, you usually don't want to be, especially as Young Link, in that kind of situation. So that's something in terms of like that kind of, if you're not at a safe distance to do anything, then a lot of times the best option is doing nothing at all, and instead waiting to see what your opponent does.
Okay. I'm trying to think of like how, so let's say we're on battlefield. I'm beneath far left platform. The Falcon's beneath far right platform. I throw boomerang straight across. He jumps over boomerang. Like the boomerang is like literally, the first half hasn't even like, it's not rescinding, it's going out. He jumps over it. You're at that point, the problem was one that I wasn't far away enough, possibly.
The problem is because you're choosing the wrong thing to throw.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in a straight line kind of situation with somebody, again,
arrow.
Yeah, arrow, because arrow is fast, and that's the main thing. It's fast, which is really good. I think in that kind of situation, the best thing you can do is shoot an arrow and throw a boomerang upwards, because the arrow is going to put on the pressure for them to want to jump, and a majority of people do jump in that kind of situation. And then the boomerang is going to cover that, like, going over the top angle. And even if they don't get hit by any of it, it's still just kind of building that wall that creates that pressure. Once you see how they react to that kind of pressure, that gives you a lot of information, and that kind of helps.
Okay. I'm sorry, right? That was a bad example.
You're fine.
I should have said, I was trying to think of like this scenario of where like the Falcon's going to be in my shit, and I need to like not panic throw something at him, but rather react to what they're gonna do when they're inside me.
Right.
And I'm just trying to think of like, an example of like, of what that means. So like if like, I guess if I did something stupid and a Falcon's coming from above me to do like a down air.
Okay.
I need to. The reaction would be holding shield, make sure I don't see if he gets the whiff on shield, the shield's too big, or like, you know, if he's going for the down air and I see it, I should throw out up smash. I should like I'm trying like give me like any kind of operating example of like you reacting to your opponent doing something rather than panic throwing anything.
So I guess the idea here, I guess the best way I can explain it in a way to like apply to the most situations, to the most like specific situations is instead of you kind of want to not put that pressure on yourself to have to win all of those interactions. Like, so let's say you have the Falcon coming over top of you trying to down air you, right? Instead of trying to anti-air that with up smash all the time, instead of, I want your base point of view to be like, if this is not a situation that I'm comfortable taking, then I don't have to take it. You know what I mean? Like that confidence,
like
that confidence
retreat situation.
Yeah, you could just reset neutral. Like, I think it's a big problem that a lot of players have. You know, for example, disadvantage state. Let's say you're getting comboed, you're up in the air, and now you're trying to like get back to center stage. A lot of players will never opt to go to the ledge because the ledge is a scary place. But the reality of the matter is, if you're wasting your double jump and you're trying to drift inwards towards the stage, there's like literally nothing more predictable that you could do. Whereas if you put yourself at the ledge, it's like you have like they have like a 1 in 6 chance of like beating you in that situation a lot of the time. So it's kind of like the idea of taking the longer road. The whole concept of like, this might not pay off right away, but it's okay to reset situations. It's okay to like not have come out as a winner in an interaction, but also not have taken that loss in that interaction either, because you try to do like a big brave man play. You know what I mean?
This is why the K rules were stomping me, because I tried to win every situation.
Exactly, because the reality is when you're young Link and you're fighting the big fucking fat crocodile, all it takes is you hitting him like 3 times a stock for it to be over. So you don't have to engage him 25 times a stock, because all that's doing is giving him more chances just to like bullshit you, when in reality all you need to do is hit him with one arrow that combos into grab, that combos into down throw, up air, and now you did 50%. And then he's gonna fuck up because he doesn't care about the game. He plays K Rool. He's just trying to fucking style on you and make the whole chat go Omega lol or whatever. So he's gonna fucking run in and nair you, and then you're gonna shield it, and then you're gonna up B, and then you're gonna back air, and now he's off stage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can let other people fuck up and make the game easier for you. And when you're a character like Young Link, where you don't have much range, your combos are like your approach options, in order to win an engagement as Young Link while you're approaching, it's kind of hard. Like, you have to hit a back air 1, a small back air 1. You have to be ready to combo off of that. You have to, you know, if you hit somebody with back air, it's like you have to be prepared for that follow-up. Yeah.
Chat, I need that clipped. I need that clipped and shipped. That was K Rool means, and that is going on Twitter. K Rool means in a nutshell. I need that clipped and shipped, please. Thank you. All right, I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, like it's hard to approach as Young Link. It's really hard. So, I mean, the number one thing, I guess. Okay, so you're an aggressive player, right? You're a pretty damn aggressive player from when I watch you. That's kind of your natural tendency. I'm also the same way. I always have been. So there's a way to play aggressive in this game while also still playing safe. And it's something that's called, like, I like to call like preemptive defense, which is you basically, and Young Link is great at this because he does not have very committal laggy moves. Like, he has a lot of just kind of like safe pokes, like feeler moves that you can put out, that if they do land, then you can do a lot off of them. A great example of this is like Nair. So like, let's say you're running towards your opponent. You guys are both like, let's say it's the beginning of the game, you know? If you run out and you kind of put out like this short hop Nair, like, it has such little lag that you can still retreat almost fully back to that place you were in the very beginning, but you still were able to put on enough pressure that made your opponent want to do something in return, which is basically you baiting them the entire time. So the way that I try to play a lot of the times is I'm just constantly trying to bait my opponents. And that's what Young Link is so good at, because he's agile, he's small, he's fast, and he's safe as hell. So he's really good at putting out these bait moves. And then when he does get the punish, and he can just punish the hell out of you, because his combo game is ridiculous. And even if your combo game, like, personally isn't ridiculous, the reason why this character is so broken is that his damage output is stupid. It's ridiculous. Up B to up air at 0% does 35%. you can do up B up air. It's not very hard. It's literally RNG. If there's a like 10%, 15% chance they just pop straight up above you. Like, so it's I think like you don't have to be doing the same combos that I'm doing, because even just doing the more basic combos still do a fuck ton of damage. It's more so, I don't think your problem is that you need to learn all this tech that I do, because the fact that the reality is I'm just like a nerd who plays this game way too much. It has way too much time on my hand. I'm like the fucking Mario 64 speedrunner, like moving the camera on carpet ride or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just,
right, just swagging out of control.
Yeah, it's just literally just for swag. But you can, the thing about Smash Bros, one of the beautiful things about this game is that simple is actually better a lot of the time. And which is something I also hate about the game, but it's nice in its own way, because you can have a very simple playstyle, but if you're out thinking your opponent, if you have better fundamentals than them, if you're outplaying them consistently in neutral, it is going to be extremely difficult for especially people of your skill level. The thing you should be excited of is once you get these basic concepts down in your mind and you're able to start acting on them, dude, you're going to absolutely shit on the people on your skill level. Like, the people that you're playing on Elite Smash or, like, you know, whatever, the K rules, all these people, dude, it's going to be nice, man. It's going to be nice. And then you're going to start trying to play harder people, and you're probably going to get shit on, but at least these K rule Andes are not going to be giving you trouble. Once you realize, this is something I realized, I guess, one way I'll try to say it is, I got to a certain point in my Smash career where I realized kind of how to stop losing in pools. Where I one time realized that I had a lot more success against people that were better players than me than people that were worse players than me. And I'm like, why is this? Why do I play so much better against people that are better than me rather than people that are worse than me? And the realization I had was the reason why these players are worse than me, there's very defined reasons for that. And once I started understanding, it was like they don't win the game. I'm losing the game. Like, they're not really outplaying me very hard. It's more so that I'm giving them all of these situations that they could potentially win the game. I'm the one that's playing into that own hand. Whereas if I played a very smart, safe, fundamental play style, especially against the players that are not very good, like, they're not going to be able to handle that because they literally just don't know. They don't have the capacity to know yet. They just haven't learned yet. Once you realize that, it's like, you start playing against those level of players and you realize that they're actually doing the same thing. They beat themselves too. So if you don't beat yourself before they give you the opportunity to see them beat themselves, then it's like, it's a free dub. That's free cash, baby. Hopefully that makes somewhat sense, but yeah, I'm trying my best. It's tough to put it all in the words, but I think it's...
Yeah, I also feel like part of it too is like, You may have data too, though. I don't know. If you're playing against a known player, you have a relative idea of like, if you know the player, you know at least one habit they have, and just it's a little more info to have downloaded, so you have a little bit more of an idea of like what to expect.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. 100% true, because the good players do the right things, and the right things.
And that's knowledge.
Yes, and the right things are something that you can understand, and there's something that you're used to seeing. That's why people get so frustrated playing against people that are a little below their skill level or maybe on par with them, is because they feel like they're not doing the right things, but they're still working. But once you realize that the right things are quote unquote the right things for a reason, that there's a reason why those are the good things to do, you start realizing why the bad things are bad. You know, why it's punishable, why it's exploitable, why there's a fundamental flaw with the quote unquote bad player's playstyle. And once you start realizing that, then it's like, oh, okay, it starts becoming a lot more clear how to take advantage of that and stop falling for that. It's really like, you know, it's a cliche, but there's a reason why cliches are, you know, they're so true that they've been repeated so many times. But there's a reason why. Fuck, I actually completely forgot what the cliche was. Anyways,
that's cool.
Anyways, basically what I'm trying to say is you
cliche songs a trash character. All right, moving on.
I
don't even know.
Yeah, I don't either, but it's all good, man. Basically what I'm trying to say is like once you start recognizing kind of the traits of like the flaws in people's play styles and okay, we hate what we don't understand. That's what I was gonna say. We hate what we don't understand. It makes us mad. It makes us angry. But once you start understanding why you don't understand what they're doing, because it's not the right thing to do. Okay, this is not the right thing to do. So why is it not the right thing to do? Okay, because this is actually really punishable. Okay, because they're only hitting me with this because I'm trying to challenge it every time. Once you start making those discoveries, you just see those players like crumble like really fast. And that's kind of like a breakthrough moment, especially for someone of your skill level, because I was in that same spot.
Okay. Yep. I follow this. You're right. There's definitely. Well, I brought up a little bit earlier, and I mentioned the Toon Link. I was like, I can't tell if he's playing well, I'm playing bad, or I don't know the matchup. Like I was able to. I at least knew there was more than one reason for me to lose, and it could be multiple reasons of those three I'm mentioning here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm aware of that.
I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of all of them in some way.
I need to apply. Yeah. It could be. It's probably a mixture of all three. But just working on like. So I guess kind of the whole thing is whenever you feel defeat, it feels overwhelming. Like you're like it's like shit, dude. So, like if me and you played right now, like I would get ass blasted, and it'd be like 100 small things I did in that match.
Yeah, it would be so overwhelming. Of course.
Yeah.
That's why I've actually come prepared, and I have a couple tricks that I'm gonna teach you that I want you to do next time you play that I think are gonna kind of start putting you like little mental tricks that you can do in your mind while you play that start kind of creating these good habits over time. Because in order to learn something, it's like you have to do it and focus on it consciously, and over time it becomes unconscious knowledge, right? But
it becomes automatic.
Yes,
right.
But it has to start in the conscious phase. So one of the big tricks I want you to do is I want you, when you are in random points in the game, it doesn't really necessarily matter when there is. For me, I find this the best strategy when I take the lead, but I want you to look at the clock in the game. Let's say it says like 6 minutes on it. I want you to say, okay, until 5 minutes and 30 seconds, I am not going to actively engage my opponent. I'm just literally going to play defense. I'm going to run away from them, and I'm going to let them try to hit me. So instead of trying to hit your opponent or like trying to whatever, like juke them or whatever, right? You're literally just going to run away from them and then watch how they just fucking chase after you and make mistake after mistake and give you free opportunities. It'll blow your mind, dude. It'll blow your mind.
Well, the only time I've really did this was whenever like I'm playing against Adult Link as Cloud and I have a bomb, or I'm playing as Cloud, right? And I have my secondary, and I have any object from the opponent's arsenal.
Trying to keep it from them.
Crown or bomb or Adult Link's bomb. They freak, dude.
Yep.
They scramble. So, and then of course they do that one null pull.
Yeah.
They want to pull their crown or pull their bomb, and then you get the free hit on them. Easy.
Yep. So now imagine like when it's not even in a situation that they understand. Like they understand that you have their crown. They understand that you have, or like let's say you're fighting a Cloud. They have limit, or Joker has Arsene. They're used to that situation. They might not be good at handling it, but now imagine it's a situation where they don't even understand why you're running away from them. They're probably gonna get pissed. They're probably going to chase after you, do like some unsafe shit, and then you're just going to sit back and be like, wow, I didn't even realize that these people are not nearly as good as I thought they were when I don't hand them mistakes. You know what I mean? And the key reason why I don't want you to run away the entire game is because the true thing that every top Smash player understands, and it's a really simple idea, but like every top Smash player pretty much lives by this idea, is that in this game, there are going to be times where you have to camp, and there's going to be times where you have to be aggressive, and the ultimate playstyle that you can try to craft for yourself is a playstyle where you know when to do each. Like in any kind of situation, you know when it's more beneficial to you to do one or the other. Like if you go and watch people like Tweak, that's where I learned that technique from, by the way. It's Tweak actually taught me that. But he taught Cosmos that, and then Cosmos taught me. And when you kind of like start going and looking at these top level players play the game, you can start noticing, like, you don't really notice it while you're watching it because it's just so mesmerizing to watch the way they move and everything, but these dudes are camping each other. And you're like, wow, they're just fucking camping. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh wait, these dudes are rushing each other down. Damn, this is hype. And then Oh wow, he just lets him go to the ledge every time for free. Oh wow, he never lets him get back on stage. It's just all about constantly mixing up, you know, pressing on somebody and then letting them try to press on you. And then just it's all like a, you know, like a ebb and flow. But you can't just always be running at people, and you can't always just trying to be put on pressure because it just makes you way too predictable. But you know what's the funny thing about that? I really truly did not understand that idea or that concept until maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Like, no, not even kidding you. So like everything that I had achieved in my Smash career so far, I don't think I ever camped anybody one time, probably ever. Like I just all I did was run at people.
Well, so then now this goes to a different conversation, just for a little bit here, which is that like, why do you like Young Link and why do I like Young Link? Because I feel invincible. Like, it's like a rush. It's just like the dopamine. You're pressing a lot of buttons.
Yep.
How many buttons does the Wolf press? How many buttons does the K Rool press? When you're Young Link, it's like, dude, man, you galaxy brain. You're throwing out APM and shit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean. There's no joke. There's a reason why, you know, I like Young Link and I like Yoshi's Island.
I feel that
same rush.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. But I'll tell you the main reason. I
just want to press more buttons. I'm like, So I just want to I want to get into the flow and just like fuck my controller until my opponent rage quit. That's what I want to do, essentially.
So I'll tell you the main reason why I love Young Link. The reason why I love Young Link and the reason why I think he's broken is because he has an incredible amount of options. He has the ability to be a campy, fucking annoying ass zoner who just spams projectiles at you from across the stage and runs away, and he's hard to hit. And he also has the ability to literally mash on your shield, do 75% combos, press every single button in existence, and he's pretty much equally as good at both of them, which is really, really, really nice, because when you're fighting that K Rool or you're fighting a Little Mac or something, you want to be able to run away and camp somebody from the other side of the stage. Like, you don't want to fight that shit. And when you're fighting against like whatever, a fucking Rob or something, like a big body character that you can just fuck up, you know, you want to be in his grill, like constantly pressing buttons and making his life hell, and that he's never able to get anything started. So you can like do both of those things with Young Link very, very well. And the main key I want you to understand is that you can do both of those things in the same game and change up that playstyle multiple times in the same game, and that'll make it so hard for people to deal with your playstyle. That's when you truly get people start hating Young Link. I'll tell you that right now. Because as soon as they think that they figured out your mashing, now you're camping, and once they figured out your camping, now you're mashing, and like it's both are so good that I think Young Link is just only getting better as a character in the meta, to be honest. The more I understand about Smash, the more I feel like this character is really, really good.
Hey, man, that's really cool. I don't know if I have the same like 5-head reason. I mean, I more told you why I'm so aggressive, even though I know I need to not be. And actually, what's funny is I thought I was doing a ton better on that. But to hear you describe me as aggressive, I'm like, damn, dude, I toned that down so much.
Yeah.
I guess I was.
Oh, I mean, it's like, it's such a process, you know, like, because when you first start playing Smash, like, you don't even understand like the concept of like, why would I not try to always be doing something, you know? Yeah. Like, you might not even just care about winning enough at that point, or you might not, you know, whatever. Like, you haven't faced enough adversity to make you I mean, there are people out there. I mean, there's my boy Samuel Busby, shout out to Buzz. Like, there's people that live to camp. They fucking love camping. They love sitting on the other side of the stage and shooting shit. They love it. I don't like, that's not me, and I feel like a majority of people probably don't feel that same way, but you start getting to a point in the game where you face enough adversity that it starts becoming more fun to learn how to deal with it rather than to just keep losing to it. You know what I mean?
Yep. I understand.
And once you kind of free yourself too from that need to be that cool, flashy player all the time, that's when Smash gets a lot more fun too. Because as somebody who has a reputation of a cool, flashy player, like my set versus Best Nest, that one that you watched where I was camping the everlasting shit out of him, I went to VG Bootcamp. I didn't even know these videos were going to go up on VG Bootcamp. I saw they were, and my heart dropped. I was like, oh no. I went up and looked at the comments on that video, dude. Holy shit. I never have gotten one negative comment on my playstyle in the history of my Smash career. And these people were eating me alive. And I genuinely felt nothing because I was just like, bro, I was just trying to win, man. This is how I know I'm starting to get better. I'm doing something right, man.
Oh, I was like, dude, dude. I'm telling you, it gets to me too. It's like, dude, fuck them, bro. That's just Smash monsters trying to like, dude. That's like taking Smash Twitter seriously. Man, I'm like 5 layers of like onion peel from ever taking that shit seriously.
Yeah,
like,
I used to though, man. I used to care about it a lot, and it's kind of what held me back. And now it's like, if I want to win against somebody, then and I feel like camping's what I need to do, then I'm gonna do it. And that
dude, you're playing against the Nez online, dude. Like they get 1 PK fire, you're eating 80%. They get fucking like if you get PK fired and you're facing towards ledge, dude, and then get that back throw on your ass away from ledge, you're fucked.
Oh shit, that's funny as hell.
Yeah,
like,
dog, what do you mean? I'm like 2 bullshits away from. I'm 1 lag spike away from getting grabbed and killed. Like
yeah.
What you mean, dog? Like,
yeah, that's facts right there. That's actually facts. But it's funny how warped my own perception was of things, of like how much pressure I felt on myself to make people enjoy the match that they were watching. I dealt with that a lot. Was like I never wanted to. That was kind of like a playing for myself kind of thing. Whereas I didn't usually play for myself. I played for the reputation of the game, or played for the reputation of of what people thought of me as a player, or what people, whatever, right, thought of the game, thought of my character, blah blah blah. I just recently started letting that shit go, and it was just like, oh my god, this game is actually so fun. I forgot that the game was fun when I got to just play how I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yep, I understand. Okay.
There's one thing in your bullet list here that I really want to talk to you about as well.
Oh.
You said Falcon up smashed Raw. I shielded, tried to grab out a shield to punish. Either that option was too slow or I did it too late. So
oh god.
There's one thing about Ultimate that you got to understand. This game is made in a way where there is so many times that a character is doing shit to you, and there's absolutely literally 0 things that you can do about it.
Oh, there are some unpunishable or unwinnable situations.
Yes.
Or unpunishable options.
Exactly.
The frame data there.
So using what you learned today, what do you think that you should have done in that situation?
I should have exited shield and just like ran away.
Yep.
Like, because given I can't grab out of shield, I can't pivot grab because it's even slower. I certainly can't up smash because it's too slow in the startup there. At that point, there's just no way to win. So yeah, I should have just like, okay, you got this free move that I can't do shit about, but fuck it, I gotta go away.
You kind of lost that situation by letting him get that close to you to be able to do that, you know? And the worst thing that you can do, one thing I've learned in this game, is you got to learn when to hold your L. You know, sometimes you take an L, you got to learn how to hold it. I think that's like kind of goes back to the disadvantage state, the drifting towards center stage, or double jumping out of everything, like that kind of mindset of like you lost an exchange, but you don't want to accept that loss. You want to like try to reversal it and turn it into your win. Whereas like there's a lot of times where you just got to be like, all right, I lost this engagement. Let's reset neutral. Let's try it again. That's kind of one of those situations. In terms of out of shield punishes though, because there's a lot of times where you are going to be able to punish things out of shield. It's something you're going to kind of have to learn with matchups, and you know, you can look at frame data and stuff like that, but at the same time you'll get a feel for things generally. Your best move out of shield in terms of being able to punish things a majority of the time is going to be up B. If somebody, I don't know if you know this or not, but when you're holding shield, if you just press up and B, like at the same time, like a smash input, you actually don't have to drop your shield for it to come out. It'll just start automatically doing it. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Like it buffers, right?
It's not even a buffer. It's like,
hey, what?
So in Smash, there's this weird mechanic where if you're doing upwards things, so like let's say you want to do up smash out of shield, or you want to do up B out of shield. If you're holding your shield and you press and you do the input like a smash input, like let's say you do it's up smash where you press up and A at the same time, or you do up B, you press up and B at the same time, you actually don't even have to let go of your shield for it to come out. It'll just do it.
So you're telling me that if I'm holding like R trigger
Yes.
and I'm continuing to hold R trigger,
Yep.
while holding R trigger, I press up B, I would up B out of shield?
Yep.
Or I would up B without even exiting shield? Like there would be no like shield
Yes,
lag or
no
whatever?
no shield drop animation, which saves you 2 frames.
Oh.
That's why when people say
But
out
that
of
way
shield,
I was just like doing up B on
yes,
me.
that's
like,
how a fatality does up B. So when
Oh.
people say out of shield, they're actually not really talking about the act of dropping shield and doing something. They're talking about the mechanic of things coming out of shield. That's kind of like a misnomer almost.
Okay.
So there's another, yeah, that's one like little tech thing that I figured you might not know. Which, by the way, don't worry, I didn't know how to spot dodge until I played the game for a year and a half. Not even kidding.
Wait. What do you mean?
Like I literally, I remember I was playing one day on this website called SmashLadder.com, and I was playing against this like pit player in Smash 4, and he literally was just spot dodging the entire game, and I don't know why, but I just was always like, all right, people do that, I don't know how to do it, fuck it, I don't need it, all right? It's so funny, but and then this guy was spot dodging so much that I'm like, dude, this is so broken. So I put in a chat, I'm like, oh my god, all you do is fucking spam spot dodge, like you're trash. Also, by the way, how do you do that? And he's like, oh, you just hold shield, press down. And I started spamming spot dodge after that, like all the fucking time. And it created
Wow.
like one of my worst habits from back in the day. But yeah, like
Which that worst habit is
spot dodging.
not spot dodging, never spot dodging, opting to try to challenge more stuff rather than spot dodge it safely.
No, well,
Or-
that was kind of what it was originally, but it turned into like, this is like a get out of jail free card. Like, holy shit, like people are trying to hit me and I just spot dodge and then I do Fox's up tilt, which combos into itself 6 times, blah, 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 right? Also, I just broke my Ridge wallet. Hashtag ad. Trying to play with this fucking thing. I pulled out the money clip straight off. That's tragic. Anyways, yeah, so that's like, there's a lot of tech and stuff. But here's another piece of tech that I'm pretty sure that you don't know. Do you know how to Z-drop a projectile?
Yes, yeah. As in, whenever I pull a bomb and I drop a bomb, with I'm Zare dropping a bomb, right?
Yeah.
Or
So
dropping a
instead
bomb.
of like
You mean,
holding down and pressing A, you can just press Z and it like falls out of your hand.
Yeah, and it falls slower,
Yeah.
which is good for like the anti-air when you're like dealing with people like, I don't know, Ganondorf or whoever.
Because on here, you're asking me about ledge trap setups.
Yeah.
And when I was watching you play against a K Rule, I saw a lot of moments where you were like, I could tell you were kind of trying to do like what me or Skittles would kind of do, which is like drop off stage, jump up, drop the bomb, then be back, position yourself back at the ledge while you have the bomb covering the ledge. I would recommend, because I saw you like throw it forward on accident, so that told me that you were probably trying to throw it downwards by pressing down and then A. The reason why you want to Z drop it in that situation is because A, you have control over your drift because you don't have to use your stick to do it. So like, let's say you jump off stage at that situation, right? You have somebody up being towards the ledge. You jump off stage, you retreating, jump back while Z dropping the bomb. That way you still have control over your drift back, so you can get back into position while you're able to like drop that bomb at that perfect angle. Because the main thing you don't want to do is you don't want to allow your attempted like ledge trap to throw you out of position. Like you want, when your opponent's going to the ledge, you want to be like at that kind of like roll distance character length where you're ready to cover their option off the ledge. You just want to be able to use your projectiles to just like add some extra pressure in that situation. I think that's the main thing I want you to like understand is like the bomb stuff is good, and I do want you to do it. I do want you to experiment with putting bombs by the ledge, using your projectiles to put pressure on people off stage. But the most important thing in that situation is you being in the position for when they grab the ledge, you're ready to contest them as they try to get off the ledge. Because you don't want to be giving up that ledge for free if you do fuck up your attempted like edge guard. Zero made like a living off of doing that. You know what I mean? Like people, ledge trapping is 90% positioning. That's the rest of it is just like trying to get, just trying to force certain situations or just put on that little extra bit of effort.
Okay. Yep. Nope. I will be honest here. Sometimes I try to do stuff off the ledge, and I'm just hoping it works. I feel more confident in my ledge trapping when I'm playing offline, but when I'm playing online and it's K rule and shit, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't afford to get hit. I need to. I hope this will make him stay in shield, and maybe I can get a grab, which is probably not the right way to approach it. I shouldn't be trying to hope for a grab. But for some reason, I see if generally they're gonna shield whenever I throw shit at them. So the idea is, okay, well, if I have two things, if I have like a diagonal upward, boomerang, and I have a bomb in hand, I'm throwing a bomb at them. If I throw the bomb at them, they're going to shield. If they jump, they're going to hit by the boomerang. So they have to they got shield. And I'm just hoping that they stay in shield just long enough for me to get a grab. That's a very stupid, probably bad way to approach that situation. Maybe it's because the Wi-Fi, I don't really, or the Wi-Fi lab made me less confident or something like that. But that's generally what I'm trying to do, just lock them in, and then I say grab, but I don't know. I'm never confident with the down tilt, and I'm sorry, I'm getting into technical shit now.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
I feel like you're so confident on your down tilt, and I feel like, is there a visual that you their shield down to it? Their shield is low enough to where the feet are poking out, and then you do it, or so I'm terrified because if I go for I don't know, a crouch cancel down tilt, I run and I crouch and I down tilt.
So do you play with tilt stick or do you play with smash stick?
Tilt stick.
Okay, that's good. So, in terms of down tilt, well, okay. The last thing I'm gonna say about ledge trapping, real quick, by the way, is your goal when you put somebody off the stage is not necessarily to hit them when they get back on stage. It's to keep control of the stage. So if you don't feel confident and you have a read on an option that they're going to go for, if you're standing there at roll distance and they neutral get up or they jump, it's okay to just retreat back to center and try to hold that position. When they go off stage, their job is now to fight back for that center control. It's not necessarily to survive. You don't have to kill them in that spot. You could just let them try to come to you and get fucked up when you had more time and more patience to react to what they did because you just held your ground. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind too, is there's a reason why having your opponent in the corner is an advantageous position, because they have less room to do anything and you have more room to do everything. If things totally go wrong, you can get your ass to the other side of the stage and throw a couple arrows. You know what I mean? But, okay. In terms of down tilt, I guess... It's kind of weird for me because I'm trying to think of how you see it. So you say is there a certain thing that I'm looking for, a certain visual cue or something?
Yeah, because I want, okay, so the fear is that I go in and I down tilt and it whiffs on shield, and then I'm like, okay, so I go for it a second time hoping it's gonna hit. Because their shield's low enough now, because they're literally stuck in shield. It whiffs twice. Now they're for sure gonna just whatever. You're Lucina, I'll be out of shield. I'm fucked. Or you're, I don't know, K rule, I'm fucked. Whatever, right? It's I'm young, it's terrifying. So I tend to not really go for down tilt unless I got an arrow confirmed, which I don't even know if that's even the right thing to do, or it's quote unquote right thing to do. But I don't use down tilt anywhere near as often as I should, just because when I look at you, I'm like, oh my god, you're a down tilt confirming machine. I'm sitting here dancing around playing slap ass at 170%. You just get the freaking down tilt and get the up B and get it done. I'm like, okay, clearly I need to do something different here.
So I know what your issue is. I'm pretty sure your issue is that you don't know whether the character that you're fighting is going to be able to punish you for doing it on their shield or not. So, what if I told you that down tilt is probably one of the safest moves in the entire game, point blank on somebody's shield? It's actually...
What?
Yes, it's actually really... It's almost a meme. I'm not even kidding you. I made thousands of dollars in the beginning of this game by down tilting and then spot dodging people trying to grab me for down tilting their shield, and then just down tilting again and killing them. It is literally a meme how safe this move is. There's characters that have exceptional out of shield options, like let's say Lucina, for example. You said Lucina, that's a great example. You can't fuck around on her shield because up B out of shield is just devastating. There's a few characters that are kind of like that. Young Link is even kind of like that. His up B is one of the best up Bs out of shield. But in terms of Young Link down tilt, it is pretty damn safe on people's shields. So I guess the number one thing I would say to you is to go for it more, but so the only time I do 2 down tilts in a row on somebody is if their back is turned to me and I know that they don't have a great out of shield option behind them. So like, let's say for example that I'm fighting Rob and he's shielding and I roll behind him and I down tilt his shield once. I know that there's nothing he can do out of shield that can hit me for doing a second one to him. And due to the shield damage that I did with the first down tilt, it has a potential of poking his shield from doing it a second time. But let's say I'm doing it point blank in his face where he could like forward air me or down tilt me potentially himself. Then I might go for 1 down tilt on his shield, but then I'm probably going to use that time that I have where I'm safe again to maybe just jump away and just maybe reset or try to read his option afterwards. Like maybe I know he's going to try to roll away, so I'll shoot an arrow to catch his roll back or something like that. I think your problem is you're not prepared for the moment after you do the down tilt, which it can be hard to be, but you need to be prepared for there's a crucial moment in Smash where you attempt an attack where you need to be ready to react for whether it works or whether it doesn't. So
yeah, no, that's me all day on bomb when bombs actually hit. When they don't, when you already bait out the directional spot dodge.
Yeah.
And they can't do it again, so they got to burn a second jump, and you call that second jump, and then you throw the bomb, and the bomb hits. All right, cool. I got to do something, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, okay, I didn't commit to like the bomb hitting for sure because I wasn't confident in it, and now I'm like, oh fuck, okay, well, or worse, yeah, the bomb knocks him the other way, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, bomb is annoying in that way. That's why personally I think it's the worst projectile for Young Link, but it has its own kind of uses. I'm not a huge fan of it as a combo tool, but I like it a lot as like a landing tool, or like basically just like it's kind of like an annoyance, you know. It's just like something you throw around the stage to block off like an area. I actually saw you using bomb really well in a couple of those games where you were it looked like you were doing what I do, where you were like double jumping and throwing it underneath you to like give yourself like a safe space to land and stuff like that. That's where I think bomb is really effective. Arrow and up B are like your combo tools, you know, in my mind. Bomb is kind of just like a good mix-up, but it's not really going to be like the main focus of your game. Like it's not the melee bomb. But okay, so the number one piece of advice I can give in terms of be in that moment of like struggling to be prepared for when your attacks actually land is slowing down actually helps a lot with that, and being more deliberate with all the things that you do. So this is something that I've been working on a lot recently, is trying to, when I shoot an arrow, and it's really hard as Young Link because he kind of conditions the bad habit of just doing as many things as you want as fast as you can because he can do that. But I've been trying to slow down a lot recently and start shooting something with the intention of hitting my opponent, and if I do hit it, then I know what I'm going to be able to do afterwards. That is something that is very, very helpful in terms of also just slowing you down, but then it'll make it so you actually can start following up better. So, you know, let's say that have your opponent stuck in the corner, right? You're kind of underneath the battlefield platform in that position. You shoot one arrow at them, right? So if that arrow lands, what are you going to do? You should run up to them and try to like hit the double jump fair, or maybe even up B, you know, whichever one you want to do. Up B and fair have almost identical knockback, but the reason why up B is a better move for killing is because you can drift your opponent into the blast zone more. That's kind of the big difference. That's why I like using up B a lot in kill situations, but fair is really good for not staling out your up B early. And sometimes fair is just better against certain characters too, but that's a little more complicated. But the thing you also got to think about is, what am I going to do if that arrow doesn't hit? Because what I used to do is I used to just always assume that my attacks would hit, so I would shoot that arrow and then already be up in his face double jumping. And now I've just I've completely wasted my advantageous position of having him trapped in the corner. because now he gets to escape for free, and he might even try to reverse it on me. So in my mind, I also had to be thinking, okay, what do I do if this doesn't hit? Maybe I stand my ground, see what he does next. That's what you probably should do. But even if you're not comfortable with that yet, maybe I back up, retreat, shoot an arrow. Now I'm at mid stage, but now we kind of reset the situation. But the last thing you want to do is just shoot a bunch of shit and not be prepared for anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Try to get lucky.
Empty. Yeah, I'm trying to like, I don't know, like shoot blank nuts almost. It's just like, okay, I pressed a lot of buttons. I feel good now. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, it's something that Zeke said to me one time that like, you know, it was like a big oof moment where he's like, Colin, he's like, you're playing the game and you're just always trying to get lucky. And he's like, and some days you get lucky and that's good, and then some days you don't get lucky and then it's not good. He's like, you need to stop trying to get lucky. You need to start trying to win. And I was like, you know what? That's actually the truest shit anyone ever said to me.
Yeah, no, yeah, when you feel like you're at the mercy of RNG, like, will these projectiles work today? I guess we'll find out and see.
Yeah, sometimes it works and it's great, but the thing is the top players are really good at not letting you ever get lucky because they don't let those situations even start, you know? So that's the hard part about where I'm at. But the good news about where you're at is when you start implementing these things, like, you're going to level up quick. Like, I actually really think so. Because Smash is a very simple game at its core. And once you start getting those fundamentals down, you're going to realize that the people that don't have those fundamentals down are going to struggle a lot against you. And I think the biggest obstacle that you'll probably face over your next couple months is dealing with things that you don't understand or you don't know, like characters, especially matchups. That's just something that you can't let get to you, man, because there's just no way of knowing what every character in this game does, like, and how to deal with it until you've played against all of it multiple times and actually have thought it through. But the biggest thing I guess I want you to do is, I don't know how you normally stream Smash, probably a lot of Elite Smash, maybe like some sub games or something like that. But when you're playing against...
Okay, wait. Let me answer your question. Go
ahead, yeah.
You're probably going to already be mad at even what I do.
Okay.
So... Oh, man, this is... All right, are we in the... This is the no judgment zone, right? Because this is going to be a terrible fucking answer.
Of course.
All right, terrible answer. I used to do sub lobbies. I itched away from them because I was getting just dumpstered all day long. Like, only the really good people who shit on me all day long, who, like, I have, like, a shockingly high amount of power ranked subs who just, you know, I get in there, and it's so cool because in there I was like, oh, I get to play with Dad. Awesome, we're gonna play. In my eyes, I'm like, oh, I'm about to get fooled so hard by this like really good, I don't insert X character here, whatever, right? Really good. And it's just, I mean, it's not even close. I'm getting like 0 and 6, getting dumpstered by all my subs, and it's like, and it's like I can't even like. I'm already defeated for the day. I don't even know how to even rebound mood-wise for the stream, so I had to like get away from that and like, okay, I need to play people who are my skill level because this is not. I can't get the mood.
I think that is totally fine. I think that is totally fine. The worst thing that you can do.
A long time ago with that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing that you can possibly do when you're trying to get better at a game is play against people that are way better than you all the time. It's not helpful and it's discouraging as fuck because. That's why I didn't want you and me to play today if I'm trying to teach you shit, because what are you gonna learn when you're so overwhelmed by things that you don't even understand? It's just frustrating and it's overwhelming. It's not conducive of learning. You know what I mean?
Ooh, wow, you got the 5 head. I kind of caught on earlier that I'm like, okay, we're not gonna play today, or you're not gonna show me anything here, so it's gonna be probably mostly mental, which is probably where I suck the most ass at, which is means you're good.
My goal today. Yeah, my goal today is mostly to kind of start getting you looking at Smash in a little bit of a different way, and just leaving you with a couple things that resonate with you, so that the next time that you play, it's not the same. It's not the same game that you played the last time you played. You know what I mean? Like, it's starting to become more of a healthy environment to play Smash rather than like a toxic one in your head. That's the first step.
Big thing. I can only take Smash in doses. Actually, you know, if we're being real here, throughout most of 2019, it was generally I would play, and then I would get to the point where I'm like, whatever, right? Tilted, heated. Back until it was really cringe. I would step off camera. I'd go AFK. I'd turn the camera off. I was such a fragile breakdown. I am a charismatic, cool commentating streamer, but when it came to Smash, it was that's when I had no control. The emotions controlled
Dude,
me.
it brings it out of people. 100%. 100%.
And I would I would play, and then I would quit for. I say quit. I wouldn't want to play anymore. I'd be like, okay, I hate Wi-Fi. I hate this game. I hate myself. I can't take so much self-destructive things at one time. I'm just gonna not play, and I would not play for like 3 weeks, and I'd come back and I'd be like, all right, I'm refreshed. Last time was last month. Whatever.
Here we go.
Let's try again, and just, bro, it's crazy what 2 hours of losing. And I hate that I'm putting it like it shouldn't be. I shouldn't even phrase this losing, but it's what I perceive it as. Like 2 hours of losing, just like, and I'm just right back where I was again. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I'm not any better than I was 3 months ago.
That's the feeling right there, right? That's
the progress.
That's the trigger. The idea of you putting in the time and not getting better. That is what brings that emotion of like the doom and gloom out from people. That trust me, dude, I get that 1,000%. I've dealt with that same thing my entire Smash career, 5 years in a row of every single time I lose in tournament. I mean, I went to like 3 tournaments a week before the Rona, you know, like I was traveling, I was going to majors with $20 in my pocket, 16 years old by myself, taking flights everywhere across the country and shit, just getting 33rd, 25th, 49th, 65th over and over and over
money
again.
Matches.
And just, yeah, like money matching people just to fucking be able to maybe go to the next one and grinding out weeklies every week and trying to beat all these people in my scene when their one goal when they walk to that door is this is going to be the week where Colin loses. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to survive, man. Like, you know, all those years, if there's one thing I learned, it's like that feeling of not getting better, of feeling like, and even worse than not getting better, sometimes you feel like you regressed, right? You feel like, let's say you had a particularly good day, maybe the day before, and then you get on the next day and it's like you might have done even worse than you would have done on an average day. That feeling of having regressed in Smash is like, that brings it out of people 100%. That's why the number one thing, and it's so much easier said than done, and it's not going to happen. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, this is how I feel now. But once that idea is planted in your mind over time, if you truly do believe in it, then you can start making that change mentally. The number one thing you got to understand is that winning these games, these Elite Smash games, these sub battles, these whatever, it just does not fucking matter. But what does matter is if you're learning while you're playing, no matter what, if you are learning while you're playing, that is literally progressing you as a player and a person 24/7. If every time you're getting on the game, you are learning something new, let's say it's even, okay, you're playing against a DDD, you didn't know that DDD's nair comboed into back air. If you learned that today, you learned something that you didn't know that other day. That is progress. You could say the same thing about streaming. If I got on stream and I had a trash stream, but I got 1 follower, that's growth. It's all about starting to look at things as, instead of like, because you're not going to be where you want to be instantly. But if you have 20 days in a row of growth, now you're 20 days ahead of where you were before. Even if not all those days were your best days. Some days you're going to be like, wow, I'm 2 months ahead. Some days you're going to be like, wow, I might even be a week behind where I started. But if every day is growth, that adds up over time. If you really start believing in that process, you'll be mind blown where you're at in 3 months. 3 months of every day growing in some kind of way, even on your worst days. That's the kind of stuff that really makes like a big change in how people can perform in certain things, you know? That's my speech.
No, it's good. It's good. Okay. All right.
It's
I gotta consolidate all that into like, what did I learn today?
Yeah.
There are unwinnable situations.
Yep.
There are actions my opponent commit that I, one, should choose not to punish every single one of them. That's predictable.
Mm-hmm.
But also 2, that I literally can't punish off the frame data alone.
Yep. And sometimes you can punish, maybe. It's possible. But it's okay if you're not in a situation where you feel like it's realistic that you're gonna get that punish. Let's say you were overwhelmed in that second, or you weren't in the right position or whatever. That it's okay that you don't have to win every single exchange. Sometimes it can just be a draw. But go ahead.
No, definitely. And in that regard, I more mean if I'm unfamiliar with it. Overwhelmed and or unfamiliar.
Yep.
Because if I'm unfamiliar and I'm just hoping, ooh, that's guessing.
Yep.
I'm hoping this works out. That's a guess.
Yep.
I'm gonna shoot this fire out, and I hope this KO doesn't do super armor cheese on me.
Yep.
You know.
And that's what. And when you have that expectation too, when you start like relying on those expectations, that's how people become disillusioned with the game. Because once your expectations are not met, that's when you get disillusioned, and that's like one of the number one ways of feeling hopeless and helpless as a person.
Yep. Trying to think here. What was the other bit? Yeah, the up B shield thing is cool.
Yeah,
I'll try that out and see about
something
that.
to just it's easy once you get it down.
Down tilt is a DLC move, is what someone in my chat said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The characters that were in Melee that got added back into Ultimate that weren't in Smash 4, they are literally like the DLC characters of this game.
Who else comes to mind here? Like, okay, so Young Link from Melee back in Ultimate. Who else do you feel is in that bubble?
Okay, well, now that you're putting me on the spot, now I can't fucking think. Wait, hold on.
Oh no, this is cool.
I'm kidding.
Like who's Melee?
Pichu in the beginning of the game was DLC.
Oh,
as
you're
fuck.
right. Yeah, Pichu was gross. You're right.
Thank you. Someone in my chat saved me. Who else was in this game that... There was more, wasn't there?
Someone's saying Roy.
Roy, like, because Roy was in Smash 4, but, like, let's just, for the sake of this example, let's kind of forget about that. But, yeah, Roy...
Oh, Roy, you know what's crazy?
He's DLC as
fuck. My friend is a Roy main. Well, I'm not gonna say main, I don't know, whatever. He plays
Roy.
Primaries, yeah. And I kept, for, like, months, I was like, okay, so it's Melee Roy, right? And then it's like, wrong. You want to
know why people hate me, Trihex? Because I'm a Young Link main with a Roy secondary. And I just cheese people with both all the time. That's why I got the Colony 1 lol emote, if anyone has that. But, dude, Roy side B, I mean, I literally have a clip on my stream deck of Sylvanas. I have multiple clips of Sylvanas raging about Roy that I keep on deck all the time.
Yeah, I learned really quickly. Yeah, Roy's little forward B sword dance shit. That can that literally nothing's more disheartening than, okay, cool, they're doing sword dance. I'm gonna throw an arrow at them, and the sword dance like
just nullifies it.
Eat the arrow, and then you can come out of it, not do all three of them, and then just whatever, like just forward smash the fuck out of me. And if I shield that, I'm probably gonna die.
Dude, one day, like when we get a little farther down the road, I'll play you with my Roy. And I'll show you how truly bullshit that character is. It'll probably blow your mind.
I mean, dude, it happens to me all the time. I feel like I know my friend's Roy pretty well, and I just like, you know what's crazier? He'll be at 70%. I'll have 2 stocks. He'll kill me, and I'm terrified now. I'm like, oh god, we have the same number of stocks. Why does this not feel like I have a lead anymore? Like, I'm at 0 as Young Link, he's 70 as Roy, and I'm terrified right now.
Dude. It's
oh my god.
I kind of want to show you this game real quick. I also am like, don't know if you want to show it on your stream because it involves somebody, but I just want to show you this one clip at least because this character is absolutely insane. So I guess I'll just say it right. When I was playing against Zero in tournament, like probably 3 or 4 months ago.
That's this cool gameplay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was up 3 stocks to 1 on me, and I brought this game back, and so I'm gonna give you a timestamp. I just want you to watch how ridiculous this character actually is. This was probably one of the craziest things I ever seen. I've ever done personally.
Oh, but this thumbnail, dude! What is this thumbnail, bro?
Shout out to my boy Spankers.
Oh, that's so good.
The clickbait goat.
Okay, all right, like me. I love it. All right, so.
Oh shit. I think hopefully the timestamp work. If the timestamp didn't work, I'll tell you where to go. Oh man, this shit is hilarious though.
Okay, so yeah, so.
Okay, yeah, there you go. You're bro, watch this character, man.
Okay.
That stock was like 20 seconds long.
I'm invested now. Hang on, wait. Okay.
Oh shit. I wanted to win this set so bad.
Oh, good bait on that limit.
Mm-hmm. I don't even remember how this ends.
Oh,
yeah.
my god.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was at like what, 65 maybe?
Yeah.
Hit him with that just like little tap of the sour spot. Very hard to react to tech, and then he's just dead. He's just dead. So the reason why I have a Roy is for Cloud, like Cloud, Shulk, big sword characters like that. You can stop watching now. Yeah. But like, you know, for like Cloud, big swordies, basically, obviously give Roy a lot of trouble, or give Young Link a lot of trouble. So Roy is really good against those kind of characters because he just gets in so hard on you. That's we could talk about I know you got a Cloud secondary. You know, we could talk about matchup charts another time.
No, it's not even. So listen. I get the idea that secondaries will help your matchup disadvantage. But I feel like my Young Link is so incompetent that I enjoy pursuing being the optimal Young Link that I can be. And honestly, I enjoy him a lot more anyway than like diversifying just yet.
I think that's
just
smart.
there for whenever.
By the way,
You think that's harder?
I think that's smart. To like,
Oh, smart. Okay.
I think it's gonna be easier to like grasp the kind of concepts you need to grasp about the game with one character rather than trying to like. Because honestly, at the point I'm at right now is like it's hard for me to even juggle my characters. Like I don't even know if I still want to. I don't know. You know, it's something I'm still thinking about myself personally. So I think you're probably best off solo maining more right now. But you know, it's not like it's.
I only go to Cloud whenever I feel like I'm playing too much Young Link and I'm autopiloting way too much.
Yeah.
I'll pick Cloud just to like get a palate cleanse, I suppose.
Here's another kind of big concept I want you to take away from today too is know when you're playing Smash to get better and know when you're playing for fun. You know, like it's okay to play the game and just say like, okay, fuck getting better for now. I'm just gonna play Cloud and up B out of shield and just like fuck around or whatever. Like, you know, just but the important thing is like don't confuse those two times. When you're taking it serious, take it serious. Try to get better. Work on those things. But when you're trying to have fun and you're trying to chill, then like don't worry about that shit. Because once you start mixing those two things together, you're just gonna get frustrated because you're gonna feel like you're either not fully invested, but you want to be getting better, but you're not, and all that shit. It's just gonna get confusing. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's good to clarify to yourself like, am I trying to get better right now? Am I practicing or am I just playing? You know, it's okay to do both.
Okay.
Because honestly, like 3 hours of good practice a week is better than playing the game for 15 hours a week but having no idea what the fuck you're working on. I think that's 100% true.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
What else? I want you to remember to try out the timer trick for me.
Yep.
And
6 minutes, 30 seconds until 5:30. Just try it out.
Something like that. I'd recommend smaller intervals than that. I'd say like maybe 15 to 30 seconds of not engaging. You'll be surprised how hard it is to even do that.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, 15 to 30 seconds, because that's really all you need to get somebody antsy. One big thing is changing the pace of the match in the middle of the match is really, really hard for a lot of players to deal with. It's very important because once you take them out of their comfort zone, it's like, I don't know. They can't really go with the flow anymore. They can't autopilot anymore. Like maybe the pace that you play at is just really comfortable for another player, but now all of a sudden, if you're changing that pace on them, then now they are getting thrown off by that. You know what I mean? So
understood.
Yeah.
Okay. I will work on all of these things. I'm actually pretty excited to play right now, so I will.
That's dope.
I'll go into the pits of Elite and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But I did want to ask you, man. You did this one thing I saw on the Gommel playthrough, and I was just like, is this true, or is just you just like made it look like really really good?
Okay.
You did like a, I want to say it was boomerang into bear into short hop bear into up B. I don't know, like you did bear into bear for sure.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So I don't know how good you are at reverse aerial rush, raw back air.
Yeah. So I have I am. I don't know. I'm trying to be really modest in that regard here. I do have my left shoulder mapped to jump, so I can roar appropriately.
So you like to do like the attack cancel roars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's pros and cons to that. The big con.
I don't do it exclusively, but that's like what I have. Is
okay.
Like
yeah. If that helps you do short hop, then that's good. But the only thing I don't like about the attack canceling is that you can't do it with a full hop. And sometimes you need a full hop to be able to extend the combo, but full hop is also easier than the short hop roar, so that would probably be easier for you to do by just jumping normally. But yeah, in terms of the boomerang to back air, think of it like, okay, so we'll get it like slightly 5 head for a second, all right, in terms of frame data. So okay. I don't know if you have my stream open, but I don't know the easiest way I could actually just
but I can
link this to you. Actually, it'll be good for you to have this page because you probably don't even know about this website. All right,
ultimateframedata.com.
Yeah.
Come on,
all right. I got you.
I'm not giga scrub.
I love this website, but all right,
I'm below average.
So like, let's go to the aerial section, and if we look at forward air and back air, right? So forward air starts up on frame 14, okay? And back air starts on frame 6. So back air is like over twice as fast as forward air. So any combo that you could do where you could get a forward air, so like let's say you do boomerang forward air at mid%, then you could always get a back air in that same situation as long as you can pull off the input. Because, I mean, they have very similar ranges, too. So the reason that I would use back air instead of forward air in certain situations is because it's more likely for me. Let's say I have my opponent at 30%. I hit them with a boomerang. If I do boomerang fair at that percent, that's going to be the end of the combo. Now, for some people, that's all they really want is to just get that, like, damage, that one neutral win. And that's totally fine. You can make a living doing that shit. I know younglings that are better players than me that do that. For me personally, just the way I like to play the game is I like to try to extend everything as much as I possibly can. That's where I get a lot of my joy from the game, is the fact that I know that if I have my opponent at 30%, I hit them with that boomerang, I do that back air, then that puts them in a situation where I have a better chance of following up again, because it's going to keep them lower to the ground, it's going to have slightly less knockback, and I could potentially keep my advantage state going longer. That's the main reason I do back air in that situation. And it's also kind of just like I'm feeling myself type thing, you know what I mean?
I understand.
But yeah, I guess, frame data is interesting because, like, let's go to down tilt real quick. So
down tilt.
If you scroll up a little bit.
Okay.
If you see here,
all right.
Down tilt is.
Down smash. Wait, sorry. All right, got it.
Okay, so down tilt starts up on frame 8, and it's -7 on shield. So that means that when you hit somebody's shield with down tilt, that you have
7 frames of vulnerability.
They have
you can
one.
do something.
Yeah, so they have one more frame. Okay, so they have like pretty much one frame in between the time that your down tilt is over, between the time that you can start another one. They have like one frame to do something. No character really has anything that they can do to deal with that, unless that they potentially get a parry and have less shield stun frames, or they
because it's -4, right? Or it's 4 frames to drop out of shield, right?
I think so. I think it might be 3.
Like that.
I think it might be 3. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I'm not a super frame data guy. I've been trying to get better about it recently. I mean, Smash 4, I didn't know anything about frame data, so I've been trying to get better about it. But basically, the idea is that like plus and minus on shield, Young Link down tilt being -7 is really good. Very safe, considering how fast his other moves start up. That's very good.
It's 11 frames to drop shield. Oh, well, fuck me. Okay, I was way off on that number.
It's 11 frames to drop shield.
Damn.
It says it on here somewhere. Shield drop is 11 frames. Yep, he's right, and that's universal for the entire cast. Okay, I was thinking the jumping is 3 frames.
Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking of too. Okay.
So
yeah, that's really good. Okay.
yeah, so the reason why it's kind of like tricky, and like the reason why a lot of people jump out of shield, like jump is one of the best options, is because you don't have to like drop your shield to jump out of shield. So you can bypass that 11 frames of dropping your shield by just pressing the jump button while you're shielding. So that's why it's so common to catch people jumping out of shield a lot.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I did want to ask you. You said here that there are young links better than you. So I did kind of clickbait and say one of the world's best young links is training me right now. I'm curious, not of like the whole e-penis measuring and all that, but more like, what do you feel that young links that quote unquote are better than you are doing that you're not doing?
I really like that question. Really like that question. Okay, so I personally, like, I was thinking about the other day, if I had to say, I would say that I'm either like the 3rd or 4th best young link in my opinion. The best young link is Toast. I'm sure you probably heard of Toast before. He is what he is so good at. Toast is like, he does not care about being flashy in any way whatsoever. He does not care about looking cool. He cares about winning, and he plays the most like optimal playstyle of young link, which is he is a master of stage control. He is super good at always, like, let's say you're playing against a young link and he's sitting, mid-range from you shooting arrows, right? And you try to back away to get a little bit of space. What Toast does is he'll move up and take that space, and he's going to keep that projectile pressure on, but he's always backing you into corners. And the thing is he is super, super good at calling out your defensive options to deal with his pressure. So his gameplay, the reason why it's so good is because not only is he being incredibly safe all the time, but he's always capitalizing when his pressure does work. But he does it in the safest way possible. So it's like, so like in a moment where I would try to go for some like big punish, he'll just go for the safest punish, because he knows that if he can get that same safe punish 3 times instead of getting like my one big combo 2 times, that's gonna lead him to be safer.
Understood.
Yeah, he's
so I didn't know about Toast. I don't know.
Oh really?
Is he
Okay.
a Japanese player?
No. You want to hear some
Okay.
shit? You want to hear how hard my ego got killed? So listen to this, right? So when Ultimate came out, there was like nobody really playing Young Link too seriously. So I was kind of considered like the hero of the Young Link community. The Discord, they all loved me and everything. They were always watching my sets and shit. And it was probably like maybe like 6 or 7 months into the game, and I went to this tournament at a local college, and there was this dude that came up to me, and he's like, yo, man, I just kind of started going to tournaments. I'm a really big fan of your Young Link, dude. I think you're super sick or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like, what's your name? He's like, oh, yeah, my name's Toast. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, dope. So flash forward later in the tournament, I get upset in winner's bracket by somebody that I was like maybe 6 or 7-0 against. I throw a big fit. I'm pissed. I'm mad as hell. Face all red. I go to the bathroom. I'm freaking out. Oh my God, my life's over. Blah, blah, blah. Right. And then somebody comes to the bathroom. They're like, "Oh, your next set's up." I'm like, "All right." So I walk out, chug like 2 Red Bulls, sit down at this setup. Fucking, I was like a mess, bro. I'm telling you, I was an emotional wreck.
Dude, yeah, wow, 2 Red Bulls, man.
1, 2, down the chute. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to get that.
Damn, dude, that like you're trying to go Super Saiyan 50. That's just yikes.
Oh man. Anyways, yeah. So I sit down at this setup, dude. I'm freaking out, bro. I'm like having a mental like breakdown, anxiety attack, and 2 Red Bulls going through my bloodstream all at once. And I look at this kid next to me, and he's just like, I literally feel like I'm sitting next to fucking Midoriya. Like, he just looks like he has the most positive, wholesome mindset, like the most like hopeful demeanor. He's just so happy to be there. He just loves the game, loves, whatever. Like, he doesn't care what no one thinks about him, like whatever, right? And it just pisses me off. I'm like, dude, I hate this guy. I fucking hate this guy. So
Oh my God, dude.
we're playing our set, and I'm like, you know what, man, you might be like this cool, nice guy or whatever, but like I'm going to like make sure that you know that I'm better than you. So game 1, I think I like fuck him up. Game 2, and so I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, I'm gonna fuck him up, whatever. Game 2, he fucks me up. Like he just fucks me up. I'm just like, what the hell? And all these people behind me are like, yeah, let's go Toast, let's go Toast. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a second, like people know who this kid is? Like what's going on here, man? Game 3, we're on like FD, and I was so goddamn nervous, and like every single person in the venue is watching this set at this point, all crowded around this monitor. They're all cheering for him and everything. I had a couple people cheering for me, but you know, like my music is just not loud enough to drown out any of this noise, and I'm freaking out. And it's last hit, very, very, very last hit. We're both above 100%. I down tilt him at the ledge, and I go for up B, and it just barely misses. It just barely whiffs, and then he's on the ledge, and I'm like trying to drift back to the ledge, but I'm like, I can't get too close. Like I don't want him to, and I just end up barely missing the ledge, and I just fall to my death. And he just looks over at me, and I'm just like, good games, man, or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, that sucks. Like blah blah blah. I know you didn't play your best. Like dude, whatever, right? You want to know something funny? That was the first time we ever played. I am currently, to this day, 0 in probably 13 in sets against him. Never have I beaten him one time. So
wow.
He lives in North Carolina, right? He just goes to college, like probably 30 minutes from my house. And when he came back, probably 3 or 4 months later, like when the new school semester started, he was like, all of a sudden had transcended from, I mean, at the time we played, he was pretty good, but you know, he wasn't gonna be like winning tournaments or nothing. He had transcended into somebody that was a legitimate top level threat in 3 to 4 months. I had legitimately never seen anything quite like it. Like when Cosmos would play against him, he was taking them to the ropes, like, and then, you know, maybe like 3-4 months later, and I mean, me and this guy, we played every grand finals at every single tournament, me trying my absolute hardest to beat him. It's the only thing I wanted in the damn world. And it was just so frustrating to me because I wanted more than anything else, like, my title back as the best young link. You know, this guy just came out of absolutely nowhere in my region, in my state. I'm not only am I not the best young link anymore, I'm not even the best player in Ohio anymore. I'm not even the best young link in Ohio anymore. I'm not even the best young link in Northeast Ohio. Like, fuck, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, that was so hard on my ego. And I think that's part of the reason why I never could beat him, was because I had such a big mental block about all the other outside shit of people starting to view him as better than me, of me knowing deep down that he was better than me, even though that he had only been playing the game like, you know, a fraction of the time that I had. And it was also frustrating and confusing for me, but looking back on it now, I realize it's the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me, because it really truly was.
Yeah, well, that's great and all, but okay, so I need to wrap this up here. I gotta hit up Toast and start getting coached by him now, so I'm about to. No, okay,
you asshole.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Like,
oh, that's funny as hell.
That sounds.
Coach Toast me,
wow.
or Toast coaches me all the time. So hey, man, join the party. I had him and this other young link coaching me the entire time on Sunday, and me and him are really good friends now. But the crazy thing about this, the last thing I want to say about Toast is this kid went from absolutely not a single person knowing who the hell he is. And the last major tournament before COVID-19, like, you know, shut everything down, Frostbite, I'm sure you know about Frostbite 2020, he got 7th place. He made top 8 at Frostbite with solo young link. He beat Sam Sora, he beat Light, he beat, who else did he beat?
So I should watch his Frostbite run?
I think you definitely should watch his Frostbite run. It was unbelievable.
Done. Okay.
For sure.
I have the homework. I've been assigned.
Yeah, but
I'll check it out. I was gonna ask you, like, what that should I watch, just to get an idea of like what this like optimal.
Yes.
Get inspiration to optimal. Other ideas as whatever shit I be doing.
Toast is a great resource for optimal young link, and you can kind of find your own playstyle after that. Because for me, like, my playstyle is never gonna be like his. You know, I want to take elements of his neutral game that are what make him so successful, but I don't want to lose that part of myself of like when I hit you, you might just die. You know, that's why I like the game. That's what I like doing. You know
I hear you, dude.
Yeah.
Press them buttons.
So I think I can do both, and I think even that if I could combine his neutral with my punish game, that I could even be better than him. You know, that's what I believe, and that's what I'm working towards. But yeah, shout out to Toast, because not only is he a great player, but he's a great fucking dude, and he's extremely humble too. So yeah, shout out to Toast. But definitely watch him. Other than that, yeah, I'm gonna go through and write some notes for you and make a couple pointers for stuff I want you to focus on. But yeah, just, you know, feel free to hit me up whenever you want to do another follow-up, because I had a great time doing this, and I don't know about your community. I know my chat definitely loved it. I'm sure your chat definitely enjoyed it as well. I feel like it was a great talk, man.
My chat was super wholesome. And it did get a little vulnerable at times. I was like, oh man, I don't want to. Man,
I knew it would.
I'm practicing because I don't want to come off as like a whiny bitch, but it's just like it is literally the hardest thing for me mentally in streaming is Smash.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of issues when it comes to like ego and self-worth and salt until blah blah blah. My chat already knows the shit here, but Smash is the one where it's like the worst by far. Like, if I get this under control, then I by default can get any game I play under control.
100%, dude. And another thing I want to tell you too is, in terms of when it comes to being vulnerable on stream, like me personally, I mean, this is kind of like a personal realization I had, but one of the things that brings me like the most like genuine sense of happiness and like purpose in this kind of career of streaming is like when I open up myself to being more vulnerable with my viewers, and they tell me that actually helps them understand themselves better and allow them to be more vulnerable and grow as people. Like, when we allow ourselves to have these kind of open conversations and like really truly try to like accept that we're not perfect, and that, you know, just because we're the person on the screen doesn't mean that we have to be like this perfect person all the time. I think that resonates with our viewers a lot, and it actually helps them a lot more than we may anticipate, you know?
Yep. That's the whole thing about why being a top 20 Ultimate player doesn't translate to getting a top 20 Smash directory view count.
That's facts.
Because skill does not automatically engage an audience. You have to be relatable.
Yep.
We have to make your skill relatable.
Yep. 100%.
If you're dumb, if you're JV4 stocking everybody, but you're a zero personality robot that does a terrible job at making people understand what makes you so good, what's there to engage here with, really?
Yep.
It's like with GDQ with speedrunning, you know? It's like is the draw really the speedrunning at a GDQ? Or was the draw always that it was a commentated speedrun that literally was devoted to bridging the understanding that the speedrunner had to you, the naive audience?
Well, what I truly believe is that it's the initial draw is like, oh, hey, look, it's this game I like. Oh, and it's this person playing it well. And then what makes you stick around is, oh, it's this game I like, and it's this person playing it well. And oh, and I actually really like this person too, and I enjoy this insightful commentary and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's what makes people stick around. For sure.
Wait, hang on, I gotta, wow, man. Y'all being so wholesome right now. Anyway, I gotta... Wait, Colin, dude, listen to this compliment right here you got, bro. You ready for this shit?
Yeah, sure.
The phrase, "it's just a game," is such a weak mindset. You're, they fucking were throwing the ninja shit at me already. Like, I was hoping you didn't know it. I was like, does he know? He doesn't know, right? Like,
well, just know whoever I said that.
Like right away, you knew. Goddamn.
Whoever said that, just know that I'm a trained Navy SEAL with over 150 confirmed kills, and I now have your IP address, and I will be hunting you down and finding... Dude, I'll never forget the first time I saw that. First time I ever saw that was in a YouTube comment section when I was like 9 years old, and I was reading it, and I went and got my dad. I'm like, Dad, I don't know what is going on. There's this guy, he says he's got 150 confirmed kills, and my dad's like, looking at it, he's like, who the fuck is this guy? Or whatever. And then like, it took us probably about 35 minutes before we both realized that we were being trolled by Party Rocker 69 in the YouTube comments.
The classics, man. Hey, man, if you want to get double XP, man, just turn on turbo mode, Alt F4. Really?
Oh
okay.
My God! Don't even get me started on Alt F4.
Oh my God, dude, just get him, bro. No. I'll give you a better one, right? So I made an Alt F4 like meme. I don't know, maybe like back in like 2014. My view count like dropped by like 100. I was like, wow, okay, that.
Dude, I'll give you the true
I got the
classic.
last laugh, but I got fucked over there. Like,
I will give you the true classic. All right, Kappa equal gray face, no space. That is the true classic, bro.
that used to work.
Oh,
See,
of course it used
I'm a Twitch boomer. Like that in 2012, that shit worked. People really fell for that.
100%. I mean, everybody fell. The best thing about Kappa equals gray face, no space, is that it was something that once you got hit by it, you now had the power to hit somebody else with it. And it was
like
so fucking fun.
It's contagious.
It's like this big game of tag, dude. And like Siglemic's chat was just the perfect place to farm, man. It was.
No, it gets worse. There's a Unicode. I think it's like Alt 3169. I forget what the code is. It's like Alt and then like 4 numpad codes or numpad numbers. It was an invisible character. It didn't consume a space, so you can do like capital G gray and then that unique no space filler Unicode, and then people would be like, "How did you do it?" Because it would work.
Wow.
Twitch, I kid you
What
not.
the
No,
fuck?
listen, I remember 2013 Twitch actually banned that Unicode from Twitch chat.
What the fuck?
Because it was so broken. Because they actually made it like broken tier.
I never heard of that. What the hell?
Right?
That's crazy.
Well, you know how you can do so you know how you can do like copyright symbol and trademark.
Yeah.
All that random shit here. You know, you can do like.
Wait, how do you do that? Like copy pasting from Google? You talking about?
No. There's a certain so like for example, like press like hold Alt and then do like numpad 174, and then you can do like the little fancy shit new here.
Whoa! What the fuck?
Oh man, look, man, look, baby.
Wait a second, that's a thing?
You a rookie. Yeah, you can do all the cool shit.
I am a rookie in this. What the hell? I never knew how people did this shit.
Yeah, so if the forum allowed the Unicodes, you can make your username all cool and shit. People would spell like Angel of Despair with like a copyright symbol and all the other crazy ass bullshit. You know, use all the playing card symbols.
Yeah, that's
you know,
fine.
the spade, yeah, people would do all that crap right there. So like, but there's one you can do where it's an invisible space. It's a character, but it doesn't consume a space at all. So you can literally break emotes essentially. But Twitch had to like ban it. It's super technical obviously here, but like that's when people really got fucked over, and it was like, oh man, it's really gray face, man, it doesn't work, dude. Be like, God,
you know what's the everlasting classic that will always work in somebody's Twitch chat? No matter what, somebody will always fall for it. No matter how many years go by, I swear it's the 100-word essay. Somebody will always get triggered by the 100-word essay. I don't know what it is about saying you have a 100-word essay due in an hour, but it just makes people's blood boil. Like they just can't stand the idea of you thinking that was a hard thing to do. You know?
I don't. Talking about this, like, I don't understand it's possible.
Okay. So basically, this is the plan, right? You go into some big streamers chat and you go, guys, like, I can't keep watching because I have a 100-word essay due in an hour, or like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have a 100-word essay because obviously 100 words isn't shit, right? It's like literally nothing. So people will always like reply to you and go, 100 words. 100 words is fucking nothing. I could do 100 words in 2 seconds. That's like 3 sentences, kid. What the fuck? And then they always fall for it. It's classic copy pasta.
That one I could see not being universal.
Really? You never heard of the 100-word essay?
No, wait. I'll give you the real universal one. I will gift 100 gift subs of Golden Kappas here right now.
The Golden Kappa.
I want to ban that piece of shit. They always come in here that you know damn well they're broke as shit. They don't even they have no money at all. They just say that to farm Kappa and then they leave. Like they say it and I never see them again. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yo,
okay,
Chad,
bro.
anybody got a Golden Kappa today?
Dude, it's so dumb.
One new person on Twitch gets it every day.
It derails. Can you imagine how broken that is? For the cost of nothing, you get a free chat derail and you leave. Like it's so stupid. They always, and it's like I'm a gift. I'm gonna like I don't even know, dude. They just like I'm gonna put my dick in a blender if someone has to get Golden Kappa, dude. Like,
bro, I just want to know one day Twitch just gives somebody the fucking Golden Kappa, dude.
They do though. Someone gets every hour. It happens. It's just like
shut the fuck up.
Oh no, it really happened. I've seen it twice in my chat in the last like whatever 5 or 6 years. Someone every hour gets it. You don't get told it. You have to just post it though.
What
So
the fuck?
when you
Hey, the
post
golden
Kappa,
Kappa is real,
it'll be
dude.
gold Kappa rather than regular Kappa. But I haven't seen it like in probably about 2 years
You're
now.
telling me that the golden Kappa is real, dude. This is like
Yes.
this is like really
No,
fucking with my brain.
That's why
dude.
it went viral. No, it is a real thing. When you that's why they say Kappa check, because when you post Kappa, that is
Oh.
you will have a golden Kappa.
I'm just
rather
so
than-
mad because like it's just the odds of me ever knowing if I'm the person, you know, like how many accounts
That's
are
the
on
problem.
Twitch.
You don't
and-
get told it. You have to check for it.
Dude,
so many people have gotten it who are AFK, not online, you know, dead time zone, whatever. You'll never know.
I don't think I'll ever get picked for the golden Kappa, just like I'll never get picked for the Twitch partner program. It's been 13 days and I've got no response, man. Why don't they want me, man?
That's funny though that you knew about the meme, but you didn't. But you thought it wasn't real.
I
just
thought
the
it
meme.
wasn't real because I'm like, I've never seen one person ever have the fucking golden Kappa. That's crazy. I want to see somebody have the fucking golden Kappa, man.
Yeah. Now here's the thing about it: the golden Kappa was what led to the meta of golden emotes. You know.
Yeah, I have a
Try
golden
hard,
young
golden
Link.
game. Yeah.
Or I have
Like
a
gold. What?
Colony 1 Sip G. That's my tier 3, baby.
Love it. Love it.
Dude,
Now you know though.
I'm so
Now,
mad.
now,
man.
now I want to
Bullshit.
see you go in like someone's stream and be a super shitter and be like, I'm gonna gift 100 gift subs to this golden cap and just watch chat just like it doesn't matter how, bro. It's so stupid because it works with no effort. I hate it. It's so fucking broken.
Dude, I mean, that used to be... I've been on Twitch since... I was on Twitch before Twitch even was a thing, you know? I was on JTV Gaming, baby, so... Trust me, I got my rocks off as a kid by trying to, you know, derail the chat many, 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 many times. I'm very... I was very astute in Twitch culture as a youngin'. Good
Let
times,
me get
good
Kappa in the
times.
chat. Kappa.
People don't even use Kappa
Kappa.
anymore, though. That's the thing. You know,
They don't. They don't.
you know what's the
Kappa- yeah,
saddest
Kappa's
emote
dead.
that is? Your emote is like one of the only ones that has survived the test of time. But the saddest one for me that I never see anymore is fucking Franker Z. I never see Franker Z anymore,
it's
man.
Because freaking wow, you know, my dog happened. Like, yeah, Franker Z died because
Do you remember that website that was like the Franker Z song or whatever?
Franker Z.
Yeah. Dude, I forgot about that shit.
Franker Z. Yeah.
I used to like, oh man, like Franker Z was so iconic, man.
It's because here's the problem, right? Franker Z was a global emote back when there was like only 20 global emotes.
Yeah.
And it was a dog. There was like all the other emotes had a specific purpose. Now you have over 230 globals. Most of them suck ass, by the way. A lot of them are pointless.
Yeah.
So now there's like other pointless emotes that just are genuinely shit, and it just makes the particularness of Franker Z no longer like as
Yeah, that is
distinguishing,
true.
unfortunately.
I long for the days.
And
you know?
Wowie and Oh My Dog, so it's like, fuck, dude, like, rip.
I long for the days, man. Those are some good times, man. But at the same
It's hard
time,
to compete though, I mean, because Oh My Dog has an emotion, Franker Z has no emotion. Like, Franker Z is not. It's an old meta emo. That's the problem here.
I just can't. It's hard to explain, but I just can't. I can't really quite explain how or tell you how much I loved that dog. I never met that dog once in my entire life, but when I would go to that website, see the little pictures of the fucking dog and shit, he's so goddamn cute. How is Franker Z doing? It's been a lot of years. Is he okay?
Are you asking?
Is he dead?
No, Franker Z passed away like 2 years ago. Like, just posted on Twitter about it. Yeah,
No.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so sad. Rest in peace
Yeah.
to a true icon.
Yeah, indeed.
Whose dog was it again?
Man.
It was Ernest Lee, right? Is that what his name was?
I thought it was a Twitch staff member.
It was a Twitch staff member, but he used to be a Call of Duty YouTuber before he was a Twitch staff member, I think.
Okay.
This is like getting deep into the depths of my brain, but yeah, some cobwebs on those memories right there. But wow, rest in peace to a legend.
When you were COD.
Oh yeah, man.
Dude, well, hey, I was Halo 3 back in the gap, son. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping Infinite's lit. I need to actually play. I need to play 3 now. It's on the Chief Collection, but like
3 looks pretty lit right now.
yeah, I'm scared though. I'm like, dude, I haven't
yeah.
played 3 since 2012. I'm hot trash. Okay, that I'm excited. Okay, so because I'm so bad at Halo 3, I don't even care about competitive. I just want to like hop back and do some sub lobbies and fuck these noobs up in my sub community and be like, y'all all trash. Y'all don't want this work. Y'all don't want this TDM on Guardian fucking BRs only. Y'all don't want that shit, dude. You don't want that work. Get out of here, bro.
Of course not.
So it's funny because I could look at Halo and be like, yeah, it'll be fun, you know. I'm trash, but it'll be lit.
Yeah.
But in Smash, I'm like, so such a drag to probably. I'm such a drag when it comes to like.
I like that though because I mean, I feel the same way about shit. I love Smash so much and I care about it so much that it makes it hard for me to even play other games, like at all a lot of the time. So
I feel that
the way that you have that kind of like those residual feelings about Smash just tells me that you care a lot about the game. Like whether there's a lot of logical sense behind why you care about the game or whether, you know, you've thought about that or not, but like it just tells me that you do have this capacity of caring about Smash on a deep enough level that it would genuinely frustrate you. So that emotion can be also used as motivation as well. So that's a good sign that, you know, you're actually going to try to get better.
Yep.
All right, man. I'm going to let you go, though, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to go. I'm about to fuck some news up on Elite and make it happen.
Have fun, Hobie.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Everyone who's here right now, I implore you all here, twitch.tv/Colinies. That is with 1 O, not 2. Colinies TV. Right?
Yep. Colinies TV,
right?
Colinies TV. My name is Colin. My name is Colin Colin. So it's like a pun. Do I regret it? Slightly, but hey, it's where we're at, you know?
Man, you think Trihex was some deep shit I thought of?
Dude, it doesn't matter. It's still a good-ass name.
Bro, that was me, 13, Linkin Park, Meteor, playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, back when Elite was the hot shit.
That shit sounds
like,
lit, bro.
I barely dodged, like, some, like, elite-ass name, dude. I was like, I wanted, like, some, like, you know, freaking... mechanical hacksaw or some like edgy ass shit with a bunch of like O's and zeros and fours.
You want to know real quick how I got the name Colonies? Last thing.
What you got?
So my name before Colonies was it was Colin 92441 because that was my number in baseball, football, and basketball. So I was trying to join this guy's Modern Warfare 3 clan, and like. He told me that one of the things that I had to do was change my name because I wasn't allowed to have numbers in my name because it wasn't cool. So I was like, all right, well,
You're not wrong.
I was like, what the? Yeah, it's true. So I was like, what the fuck do I do? And he's like, well, your name's Colin, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what about Colonies? I was like, oh shit, that's kind of dope. All right, I fuck with that. And he's like, yeah. So it used to be spelled like capital C, lowercase O, capital L, lowercase I, capital N, I-E, capital S, yep, the whole 9. So, yeah, that's how we are where we are here today. And then the TV thing, I mean, I literally just, I don't know, they finally gave you the ability to change your username on Twitch.
I get it, dude. Colonies was taking it to figure out some bullshit to...
Colonies has been taken since 2010, but the channel does not exist. And it has not existed since 2010. And every couple months, I'll check in on it. Can I change my name to Colonies? Because I would kill it to get that original fucking name. And it's forever gone. So I guess maybe one day I'll get enough clout and they'll just fucking pull the trigger for me.
Bruh, wait. You're your partner, right?
I'm not partner. They haven't responded to me yet.
Oh, okay. Listen. Get partner first. And that's like a non-existent, because right now you're doing the pleb shit. Here's the problem, right? you're a pleb trying to get a name change, and you know how that's like you going to the fucking DMV in the middle of like Manhattan or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like the line out the door to tell you to go fuck off, come back next Tuesday when the line for your turn or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like you're a pleb trying to get a name change right now. Like good fucking luck, dude.
That's
when
facts.
your partner, yeah, fuck all that shit. Just fucking email partner help and be like, yo, what the fuck, dude? Help me out, bro.
All right, well, I'll definitely keep that in mind.
I'm in the top 1% now. Help me out.
Yeah, let's fucking go, baby.
So yeah, get partner. And by the way, chat, you didn't hear this, by the way, that was confidential. Yeah. Once you get partner, then you can like just skip all that bullshit. That's for all the plebs who are like who just you know are affiliate scrubs or whatever. You're gonna be partner. It's gonna be a whole different.
Listen, boys,
situation.
Life is one big power hierarchy. All right, and if you don't like it, then you know, shit.
Yeah, man. Look. Look, on that note, Colonies. Look, I'm gonna ask you one question. There's only one right answer. Okay. And if you get it wrong, then you got to give me 100 gift subs.
Okay.
Is TPP real?
Is top player privilege real?
Yes.
Oh, dude, 100 fucking %. Are you kidding me? I'll tell you this right now, okay? And it exists on multiple.
God,
there's
dude.
multiple layers to it too. Like there's top
Talk
player
to him,
privilege
talk to him.
online. There's top player privilege in locals, in majors, it's actually crazy. Like I have showed up. I never forget this. One time I overslept for a tournament by 2 hours. 2 fucking hours. And I called the TO and I was like, yo, dude, like, can I still get into the bracket? And he's like, well, how far away are you? I'm like, well, I gotta like drive an hour. And he's like, oh yeah, well, you know, whatever. We'll just push it back an hour. That's fine.
Wow.
Like no bullshit.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to majors, like top players, like don't even get me started. You know, we got the VIP rooms and the.
So I was pool captain at Genesis 7. I won 2019, right? Genesis 7, and in 2019, and I had Ally in my pool. Boy, that boy was like 45 minutes late. I was like, boy,
yup.
And I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, look, man, I don't want to be that guy, but like I've delayed everything in my pool as far as I can around him not being here yet.
Yep.
What do I do? And he's like, who is it? And I'm like, who is it? I mean, oh, so at that point, when he asked me who was it, that's when I knew TPP was real. I was like, okay.
Dude,
okay.
Bro, it's crazy. Like clout in the Smash community it's actually kind of fucking wild because it's a community built around like an admiration culture, you know? It's like we admire like top players, we admire like, you know, greatness and success and things like that. And for these tournament organizers, they need the top players for them to survive with their tournament.
Right.
Like, and then it's like it's just all tricky and yeah, top player privilege real as fuck and maybe a bit of a problem in the Smash community. I wouldn't be afraid to say that. But yeah, I'm also a huge beneficiary locally, at least.
Okay, that's a different convo I would want to say for the podcast that
I agree,
you want to have me on or whatever.
Yeah.
Because now I want to, because I want to attack that topic of like the economic model of Smash sustainability. Even before, even post. I know now it's like extra fun because the whole Me Too thing happened, but like even before that, like official Nintendo support was not even going to solve anything really, in my opinion here.
Yes, there is definitely
there's a big topic there.
Sustainability
like,
issue.
Why is Smash like the worst paying esport proportional to its like audience reach, and simultaneously, y'all motherfuckers got no off season?
Yeah.
Y'all
no
told
structure.
Just grind all year long, no off time, or else lose your PGR ranking. It's actually insanity. It's like just grind to a pulp and then just die.
I guess the last thing I'll say on that topic, because, you know, I do definitely want to have you on the podcast next month. I think that'd be dope. And thank you for being, you know, willing to do that. We'll definitely talk about that later. But, like, I truly, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, believe that we do not need Nintendo support to have a very successful and healthy esport. And I think the amount of money and VC, like venture capitalist money that is floating around in esports right now, and with the amount of viewership and eyes that Smash gets, I mean, even after everything happens, I genuinely believe that I don't know what's going wrong at the top level. I think that we were on the path to start fixing it with like things like the PGR going to top 100 and having more of a structure, and VG Bootcamp doing the Smash World Tour and stuff like that. Yep. I think they were really on the right path, which is why it's really disappointing that nothing got to happen. But it actually turned out probably be a good thing, because if all the Me Too shit would have happened during the middle of the Smash World Tour and everything like that, it could have just been a whole big disaster. Even worse than it was. Even worse than it was. So maybe when we get to go back, this will be a really good chance for us to have a fresh start with like new leadership and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's a conversation I would love to have, because people don't really talk about it. But you know, it's something that I really think we have a realistic chance of still becoming a tier 1 esport without needing Nintendo support. But yeah.
I admire your optimism. I don't know if tier 1. I don't know. It's a pretty stubborn scene. I ain't gonna lie to you there. I'll save my citation for why I would contest that point for the podcast, because I have a lot.
And I would love to hear it too, because it'll definitely.
Man, there's a lot there. I'm just like, I don't know, dude. Like,
yeah.
I would. Okay, my homework to you in that regard is I want you to observe what other esports, how they operate, their revenue models, and how much of a not shit show they are monetarily, logistically, compared to Smash.
Okay,
Like, Smash
yeah.
in this awkward vacuum. I want you to look at what a given, like a top 0.001% player on any other esport is paid by the esports org, the revenue they generate, their reach, and just like, and compare that to Smash.
Well,
It's
here's what I'll tell you to
stupid.
that is I actually am a really big fan of esports as a whole, and I do pay attention to that stuff a lot. And I will say that the amount of fake venture capitalist investment money that goes into these other esports is that balloons player salaries and things like that really, really, really scare me, because once shit hits the fan in any way whatsoever, you're seeing this with the Overwatch League a lot right now, that it turns out that like those people don't actually give a fuck about the long-term progress of esports. If they see that their investment is in danger, they're gonna pull out, or they might just chalk it up as a loss. Whereas a community like Smash, we're so grassroots, and so our sustainability is crazy compared to these other games. And we have over, like 20 years almost at this point of foundation for our competitive scene, that no matter what happens to us, we're going to stay alive. So if we can get one big break, I really do think that we could have the structure to take that really far, and compared to something like Valorant, where it's like, yeah, it could be huge, but it could also just fizzle out. It's just that the structure is not there. In fact, the structure is there for Valorant, but it's in another game. It's like there's a lot of issues facing these other esports that I just think that Smash doesn't have to worry about as much. And along with the whole idea of like these other esports needing a team, you need 5 players on a team where nobody's fucking up, everyone's contribute. It's so hard with the culture of team changes in other games, and everyone's so hyper focused on winning. It's like fans never really get a chance to become a fan of a team for very long, because they're always getting shuffled around. Whereas if you're a fan of an individual player, that's someone that you can really like go on a journey with. And that's kind of something that I try to do with my viewer base, is like get them invested in me as a player, and then they get more invested into watching Smash as a whole. So yeah, we can go deeper down that rabbit hole later, but I've thought about this a lot.
Okay, all right. Well, this will be hot for the Colonies podcast that I have been graciously invited to, but I've also implored that, hey, if you want me on, I'm all about it, babe.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I can't wait, man. I really enjoyed talking to you, bro. I think we're gonna have some good conversations in the future as well.
It's all love, dude. I'm actually sad that I don't remember I don't remember Super Smash Con that well. I don't know why that is either, though. Like I don't remember it that well.
I mean, because I don't know. It was a while ago. It was 2017.
Like a billion times.
Yeah.
Maybe because like it was like, damn, dude, they really got us at this venue, and the only thing nearby was that goddamn Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, dude, I fucked with that Chick-fil-A though. I'm not gonna lie, man. Although the line in there, bro, when you go into fast food,
that line was ass, dude. I felt bad for those workers. That was.
And when you go to fast food tournaments or you go to a fast food place like right next to like the Smash major venue, you see some interesting shit in those Chick-fil-A's and those Wendy's, and I'll tell you that right now, you see some shit. Some good times.
We'll have to exchange some Smash major horror stories.
Oh god, you can imagine. I've been through it, bro.
Yeah, no, me and you both, dude.
That's facts for sure.
But I'll say that for the look. You know what? We need to end now because we're gonna keep on
That's
like
facts.
each other here. So you go fuck up the people on the Smash. I'm gonna go fuck them up on my little lead here.
All right, I got you, man.
I'll talk to you soon. Okay?
I'll DM you later, bro. All right,
much love, man. Later.
All right, there we go. We are back, boys. What's going on, everybody?